Power slide! Power slide! Power slide!
Oh no, we got mixed up by the power slide. I couldn't dodge it. I wasn't ready. Hope you're doing well, Chris. I think I'm just about ready to get started. So let's switch over to the correct scene. There we go. Look at that. It even behaved. It even loaded without me waiting for like 5 minutes. So I did a little bit of a lookup on this game. Now that we've beaten the game, I don't care. Now that we've beaten the game, I looked up at stuff that I've missed. And honestly, not that much. Like, I'll give an example of something that I did miss. Apparently, before you get Suzu/Ninja, if you purchase random items worth at least 2001 gold, you'll get a concert ticket in Alvanista. Like, you buy it in the you buy random things in the shop, then go to Alvanista, and then you could get the songstress title for Vera/Mint. Apparently, you could just skip it just by getting the ninja. That is very random. I don't know why getting the ninja would remove it. I don't know. That just seems stupid to me. But what's even stupider is that apparently there is a randomly spawning NPC, and I don't know if he was there because he's not visible, but he's in the final dungeon, and apparently that's the purpose of late game money is you just pay him money to get XP. But because we've already left the room he would have spawned in without finding him, whether he was there or not, which I would like to state is random, by the way, whether or not he is there. It's not worth going back in and out of this dungeon. And just so you're clear, I have to go all the way out of this dungeon and walk all the way back to nearly the end of the dungeon in order to get it. I know, chat. It's really stupid. I don't even know why he exists other than just as like a dev cheat, to be honest with you. I don't feel like most people would find it ever. It's not in a super obvious spot either. If we happen to see it on our way back, I'll point it out. But essentially there's one room where there's like a column, not like along the side, but like in the center of the room. So like the arch actually covers part of the room, and in that arch is where that NPC could be, but isn't guaranteed to spawn there. But anyway, I just thought I'd point that out. So there's also a lot more side quests to do in the game that we did miss. So remember a long time ago, Ifried was mentioned? I know, it's really dumb. Do you remember that Ifried was mentioned by like 20 million NPCs? Well, apparently they spawn another NPC after you enter the final dungeon back in the town of... Ooh, was it Early? I think so. The town that's right outside this dungeon, whatever it was called. I think it was called Early. And apparently you could go on a treasure hunt, and we're not going to do that. I just like to state that it exists, and I have no interest in randomly going across the world to get items that no longer mean anything to me. I just don't care. So apparently it's like a 30-minute trek just to get one item, and the payoff of the skit is essentially the most valuable treasure he had of all was like the dress of his wife or something like that, because it's priceless to him, or some dumb pun. I'm like, listen, chat, I don't feel like going all over the world map just to get like mediocre herbs, equipment I don't care about, money I don't care about. I just don't care. But I'll state that it's there. If people were curious, they could have done that. There's another place you could go to in the Elf Village. Because remember how I kept saying that it felt like they were mentioning something else? Like I could go do something in the woods, but then nothing happened? Well, apparently something does happen, but you can only do it after you enter the final dungeon. Which I think is also a really big gripe I have with this game. Because I'm like, please stop telling me about things I can't do. Because then I think that it's just lore at that point, because I'm already at the place I should be able to do it, and it doesn't let me do it. So anyway, apparently there's like a whole nother bonus dungeon you could go to, and the gimmick of it is, wait till you get this, chat. we can only enter this place by using Volt's concentration, so he constantly drains of TP, and you are only allowed to stay within the dungeon as long as he is TP. I have no interest in doing that. I know. I don't want to do that. Yeah, apparently there's like deeper woods. The payoff is you get the second best bow in the game for Quill, the Berserker bow, which I think has like 1200 attack instead of 800. I'm gonna be honest, chat. I don't need 800 attack. He's broken as is. I don't need him to get stronger. I did take a look a little bit at Moria Mines because I was just morbidly curious. But I still don't want to do it. It looks really, really gimmicky. I just don't want to go through another Tales of Phantasia dungeon. As I said before, I'm dungeoned out in this game. They are just really unfun gimmicks to do blind. And yeah, I don't want to do the Moria Mines. And apparently it makes you go all the way to the bottom, and then you have to go all the way back through, not sure all of the dungeon, but most of the dungeon. And there's no shortcut. You have to go through the hardest parts of the area again with really hard to kill enemies. Apparently one of them can insta-kill you regardless of difficulty. Like if it just touches you, you die. That sounds really not fun. I don't think I want to do that, chat. I don't know where this room is. I saw a screenshot of it, but I'm not seeing it on the way back so far. Oh, it was here. So chat, where I'm standing right here is where the NPC would have been. I would have to go look in the VODs to see if he was standing right here. See how like I have a little bit of color in the middle? I think that's your only tell if you could see him there. But since we've already been through here, he won't spawn there. So I can't show him off. You'll just have to trust me that he's there sometimes. Speaking of which, we picked up an item the other time. What was it? The magical pouch? Oh, I have no idea where I put it in the inventory. Okay. Apparently, this just causes things like gels to come out and longswords, but apparently, if you upgrade it to magical pouch, I like how it says decent items may occasionally fly out. It could sometimes give you herbs. Do you know what? We'll equip this one, because why not, chat? I don't need anything else with this character. Yeah, like, that's actually decent. It's a shame it's, like, literally at the final dungeon where, like, there's no reason for you to use that item, because it's within, like, 7 rooms of clearing, and that's being generous. Like, let's say you get lost, maybe it's 10 rooms till the end of the game. Like, that's an item we should have been given, like, 3 or 4 dungeons ago at minimum, just to get some use out of it. I don't know if it pops up with any item text that it's dropping it, but we'll equip it for now. Apparently it only works if they're in the active party. So I'm not sure if that impacts the battle screen or not. Yeah, it just, like, this game is just annoying, chat. I think this is the best way to describe it. It has, like, a lot of interesting concepts in it, and it just really... I'm not even to see botch execution, because a lot of it just feels on purpose. Like, it's not even like a, oops, they had a programming bug. It's like, no, they chose to do this. So, like failure of execution is, like, not correct, because this is the game that they wanted, as far as I'm aware. I don't think it's very good because of that. Like, I would say VP2, they botched execution because it's close, but you can tell it's, like, really rough around the edges. Where this game, it's, like, it's not rough around the edges, it's just, they don't like the player. like, I don't know. So anyway, we're fighting our way out of here. I'm tempted to just put it on normal just to leave the dungeon, to be honest with you. But I guess we'll leave it on hard for now. So this is our last chance to gain any levels, because I will not be doing any more grinding for this game. I have no interest. What else could we do? So we'll be doing, I think, Arena. We could, if the Arena boss is actually beatable, I will try to beat the Arena boss enough times to get a cameo fight. Otherwise, we're just gonna try Odin, and then I'm basically done with the game. I just wanted to point out, like, what I was missing for people that want the game to be completed, because I don't want to play this game anymore. I don't really have that much fun in the combat due to inconsistent jank. Like, I really wish Spear was not as garbage as it is. Yeah, I just don't want to go through like another hard dungeon with like already gimmicky enemies, and then you combine that with ultra gimmicky puzzles and annoying concepts. Like apparently if you go to the Moria mines, you can't even holy bottle. I don't want to go through that, chat. I just have no motivation. Like that's something where like even if I put that as like a somehow like you could pay points to make me do like a quote unquote challenge run of something, I still don't even know if I would do it. It just, I don't know. It's not very fun. At least like we can get like a 20 or 30 minute thing out of the way of trying Odin and just see like how pointless his weapon is now that it gave us the super sword. Like I just, there's just so many questionable design decisions, chat. Like, what is the point of Gungnir if the game is just gonna give me a better sword that's useful in more situations? So I don't understand, chat. Especially with how bad the spear hitbox is. As I mentioned it early on, I didn't like the spear hitbox, but I just thought it'd be really nice to restate how good it feels to have Autumn Sandstorm actually hit things at point blank. Just stupidness, chat. So I'm thinking after this, we'll probably play a little bit of catch up on other games. I think this is actually faster to do this than to bother doing anything else. Oh, it did remove the whole party? Oh, that's annoying. Alright, now it's not fast. I thought we would at least stay together because I didn't have it. I should have checked that on the other playthrough. Oh well. Just because this would put us at the room to the left of the entrance, I was thinking it would be faster, but now that I have to collect everybody, it's not faster. You like that we use the magic super sword as a lockpick? Yeah, it does just kind of check what item we're using. It says we pried open. Yeah, it's just like, I mean, we should be fine here. I got basically the core party here. We're in a holy bottle now, just to remove encounter rate. My thumb was right on the triangle button. I actually have a really good inner sense in this area when I'm gonna get an encounter. I'm just slightly, like, I'm like one step off, chat. I was literally about to state I'm gonna leave the jail cell and use a holy bottle. So I don't know if it's a set number of steps in every dungeon or like how random it is, like after you clear a dungeon, whether or not you end up with, oh, we're actually getting a high hit combo, hold on. Wow, 37 hits, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's like random per encounter, like it's like, oh, it sets the counter at 0 to 20, and if it hits 100, you get an encounter. I'm not sure if like the technical to that level, but the gut feeling I have is pretty close, I must say. How much XP was that, by the way, for 30-something hits? 1,387? Alright, so let me get this straight. If we were to put this... Okay, so if we were... Not that I'm going to do this, but if we were to play another playthrough, You could just cheese experience by just putting it on Mania when you get it down to, like, when you're, like, really overpowered. And then you could just combo loop for, like, 99 hits every time in early areas. Is that what I'm getting out of the game? Where is Volt? What's the... I thought he was in the bottom left, but he's not there. I'm confused. Yeah, that... I imagine you could get more XP from combos than actual battle, which is kind of sad. I don't think Dark Seal impacts that. Oh, I forgot to mention, the guy that gives out XP is impacted by Dark Seals. So if you spend, I don't know, like 1 million and he gives you like 100,000 experience, for example, it will get doubled by Dark Seal. I'm so confused. Where is this guy? Was there another jail cell and I just missed him? I don't understand. Use sharpness on me? Sure, why not? Yeah, I would say overall, from my playthrough, I feel like the advanced arts were kind of useless. There's like, literally, other than the swallow kick into Roaring Lion, everything else just kind of got punished and was just too much TP. So it's like, I just had no incentive to use it. I'm gonna go walk around the room one more time, but I'm like, I thought he was supposed to be in the bottom left. I'm just kind of confused. Oh, it's not something like I left the Darius emblem on him and he's all the way back in the other area, is he? Because if that's the case, I'm gonna be very annoyed. I'm gonna be very, very, very annoyed. If I have to go all the way back just to collect him again, I'm gonna be very mad. Because that's also something I didn't check when we were going through that before. Because I literally just want to leave this dungeon. I'm being held hostage by the dungeon chat, I swear. Oh, well, he done. Because he's not in there. I literally just walked around and he's not in there. That's the only thing I can think of. Because I remember stating I don't want to touch his inventory ever again. I remember saying that on the last stream. Man, chat, I think we have to go all the way back for him. Or he better just be at the exit. I'm convinced he's not in here. Which is so stupid. It really is, chat. Like, this is the kind of thing where, like, this is why I don't like Tales of Phantasia. This right here is, like, the epitome of, like, they have a concept and they just implemented it in the most annoying fashion possible. It really does. It just grates on the nerves for me, chat. I'm just like, why are the puzzle mechanics in this game so horrible? Like, sometimes the puzzle's not even hard. It's just obtuse for no reason. Like, we definitely don't have him. Are we allowed to just straight up leave? We need him. I'm actually being held hostage right now, chat. Please just let me beat this game. Fine, we'll save here. Like, this to me is, like, not fun. Like, I like challenging games, but not in the way that this game made it quote-unquote challenging. Like, this is, like, time waster. I have to go all the way back here just because he's there. Oh, he said, thankfully, I'm still in one piece, chat. You know what that means. You got one piece. Oh, he's actually using Summon Demon again? Nice. Yeah, this was the fight I was trying to spawn repeatedly for the Dark Seals. This specific encounter of 3 zombies Voodoo Priest. Did she really just walk up and break my combo? Did that really just happen? Right, chat? I literally was hitting all of them and she smacked them right out of the combo. That's actually stupid, but it's fine. OAI, chat. OAI. So we have no use for their levels anymore. Apparently, from when we were talking about things I haven't done. So apparently to do the Dark Cave, I have to do the very boring 30-minute treasure hunt. And I have to clear the Moria mines. Then I'm allowed to do the Dark Cave. And then on top of that, the Dark Cave still has really annoying puzzles. And I'm like, they made it worse than Moria mines? How did they do that? I don't want to see what's harder than Moria mines. I already don't want to go there. I have no interest, chat. I had interest when I thought it was just like, oh, you need like 1 item. No, you need 3 items. We don't have any of them, so it is what it is, I guess. I think there's 2 in the mines, 1 in the treasure hunt. We have to get red, green, and blue, I believe. Torches. Like red lantern, green torch, I think. And blue something. And I'm like, no. Right, chat? I'm just like, no, I really don't want to collect it. I just don't care. I mean, like, what is it gonna give us? Like, apparently, to answer that question, apparently, we're just gonna get more summons. That's it. That's your reward. You go through a puzzle dungeon, you get Pluto for Vault, who we don't even use. And it's just like, I just don't care. If we want to complete our arts, we can go to Moria Mines, and every character will generally get a new armor, which is useful. Or apparently there's something called... I'm not sure if it's Parisian or Persian. I didn't actually look at how it was spelled. Apparently there's boots that just give lightning resistance, and that's how you cheese Odin. So if you're wondering how you're supposed to beat Odin, you apparently just wear the item I'm wearing, which gives 70% lightning resistance? Question mark? Or gold armor, which also gives 70% lightning resistance, which is one of the items in the Moria Mines. And then you wear the Presium boots for 100% lightning immunity, and then Odin doesn't do any damage. So there are ways to, like, cheese the super boss, but, like, by the time you're able to do that, then the reward is pointless. It's pointless. Like, if you could beat Moria Mines, you can already beat Odin. What's the point of that? And if you could beat Moria Mines, you could already beat the game. I just don't understand what the appeal is, to be honest. You don't even... It's not like you get plot. You get, like, 2 extra summons for, Volt. That's about it. Apparently one of them... Both of them are pretty terrible. One is non-elemental and is basically just Ifrit, but for non-elemental. And somehow worse than Maxwell, which is kind of impressive. And then the final one is Pluto, as I mentioned before, which is Dark Element. But as we know, every enemy in the game at this point either absorbs it or resists it, so what's the point? Anyway, chat, I will showcase where this one guy is, just to showcase. We're not going to bother doing his side quest. As I said before, I will show, for those that are interested, this, but I'm not doing it. Let's use the inn first, though. Hey, Reen, hope you're doing well. We're having a quasi-rant annoyance at this game, because I looked up what we were missing. And most of it I have no interest in doing, to be honest with you. I'm just curious if now that we've beaten the game, how hard is it to beat the bonus bosses? Especially with 9999 health. I'm more just curious from that difficulty standpoint. And then, like, you have to picture, there's still Mania mode. Like, eh. Oh, oops. I have to showcase where the other guy was. He should be... He's in the bar, I think. No, that doesn't look right. We're gonna check each of the stores. He should be on the far left of the building. I probably should have double-checked which one he would be in. They're still talking about Origin, but we already have Origin. Care about that. If not, I'll just double-check him in like 1 second. I could have the wrong town. 1 second, chat. Oh, yeah, I have the wrong town. My bad, chat. He's not in early. He's in Free Ezekiel. I got confused because they were both snowy areas. In my defense. Free Ezekiel should be dead south of here. I'm surprised I kind of remembered the world map, to be honest. Sorry to hear you're having one of those days, though, Reen. Hopefully that day improves. Not the equipment shop. It's like, why would you know to go here? I don't know, chat. Yeah, this guy here. Hey, are you guys adventurers? Wouldn't be interested in hearing my request, would you? Really? You'll hear me out? My name is Graham. Graham Eifried. Assume this isn't your first time hearing the name Eifried? I'm the son of the... Excuse me, I'm the only son of the pirate Eifried. Though my father is dead and gone, the glory of his legend lives on. Sold my father's last remaining possession, his ship, in order to live in these hard times. Then the request you mentioned was, maybe you want us to search for your father's lost treasures? That's right. But it's not quite what you might think. What I want you to search for is neither gold nor silver, it's a dress. Spoilers. Have a look at these documents if you would. Documents? These were left to me by my father. They hold clues to finding the secret locations of his treasure. All contained in this riddle. A riddle? So the game will give you hints where each of the islands are. I think there's like 20 something in total. And apparently one of the hints is not very well translated. So if we were following it very literally, we would be confused for a good amount of time if we were to do this. I'm gonna see the hint that is specifically confusing. One moment, chat. I'm just scrolling through. There's a lot to take in note-wise. Nope, not that hint. The hint that didn't make any sense. It's like the hint is something like there's 2 on one side and 2 on the other. Okay, the hint is 2 in all Venice's northeast district, 1 on each side of Freyland, east and west. If you hear that hint, chat, how many treasures do you think it's talking about? I'll read it one more time. 2 in Alvenice's northwest district, 1 on each side of Freyland, east and west. If you read that sentence, how many treasures do you think there would be based off that sentence? Chat's gonna guess 4. It's a good guess. What makes it extra confusing is where the treasures are actually located. It's hard to explain without just showing the image, but when I think of Freyland, I don't think of certain locations like kind of like there's an island northwest of Olive Village, for example. I don't know. I don't consider that Freyland, for example, but whatever. Whatever, chat. I don't fully agree with the hint. I could see people reading that as 2 or 4 based off of it, but it's just like some of these item locations are just weird. Anyway, where would we go from here? Actually, just out of curiosity, are you allowed to pilfer things early? Oh, is that not even the right island? Oh, I got into a battle. Man, this thing has a lot of health. What the heck? Oh, now we get the Basilisk scale. Whatever, game. Right, chat? Whatever. Honestly. Yeah, some of it you have to be in, like, really specific spots. It's fine. Are you allowed to get this stuff early? Nope. Oh, you are. Oh, interesting. I wanted to get this just because it had a drum set. So, we missed our opportunity to get this item before. That's why I was checking my notes. I was trying to see which place it was. But apparently you could just play the drums. I don't know why it's there. Oh, and there's other bass lines you could play too, apparently.
Yay!
I'm listening to this song and I'm like, wait a minute. I recognize this song. Were they sampling this bass line? So here's a reference for you, chat. There's a song played in Kill Bill, where before the fights of the Crazy 88s, where the song's like, you know, where they go woohoo, woohoo hoo, that song. This is the bass line to that song. I'm pretty sure it is, and that really threw me off. Like, I can hear the lyrics as this plays. That's actually kind of crazy. I know. I'm like, wow, that's so specific. I didn't realize they sampled that. Because, I mean, this game came out a long, long time ago, so I'm like, it had to have been that. So anyway, I just wanted to show off that item. Also, we could go into an encounter with the almighty boss. Chat, it's just got 600 health. But it's immune to nearly everything. Look at it, chat. Godlike crab. It only gives 1 XP and 1 gold. It apparently is not programmed to attack. See, that I think is like a cute joke kind of enemy. And like, it kind of works. I will give them that. Like, that is amusing that it plays the boss music, but it's like a really easy fight. Like, I wish the game was more like that. I wish it wasn't like Moria Mines or something. Oh man, chat. See, like, that stuff would have put me in a good mood for everything else. So anyway, I just figured we'd go to that one specifically for the drum set. So apparently you can do them out of order. But because we talked to that guy, we can now do every treasure in the overworld. Most of it's not really worth it. You could get, like, decently good upgrades for armor, I guess, but it's fine. Eternia and Waddle Dee and Kirby Superstar, totally lost just in real fact, he doesn't one hit. It's funny that you mentioned Kirby Superstar, as I was thinking I might do that at some point on stream. Although, I'm not sure if I'd rather play the Ultra Star version or Superstar. More of a mood thing, I guess. I got Chris's approval on that one. I used to play Superstar a lot because I like the co-op mechanic. As I said before, I grew up with a lot of co-op. So I'm used to playing those things with like my sister or friends. Hey Kirk, how's it going? So Mumbane, as I said before, apparently has really high lightning resist. You can't really tell from the armor. This is where it kind of goes into my big complaint of the game. Like, what % resist is Mumbane's lightning resist versus reflexes? You'd have no idea without data mining. Also, there's one thing I want to show off before we go too much further. Oh no, what did they call it? Oh no, I forgot what it was called. I've been bamboozled. I'm looking for an encyclopedia, but I don't think it's the collector's one. No. Well, this is all the items we found. We found 316 out of 399. That's not bad. But there's another encyclopedia somewhere. I've seen it in our inventory before, and I completely forget where it is. So let's just scroll through our inventory slowly. We should already have it. I thought it was called Enemy Encyclopedia, but it could be Monster Encyclopedia. I just don't remember the first word in it. So I'm just on the lookout, chat. Sorry for going slowly through the inventory. I'm trying to read as quickly as possible where it could be. Oh, it is Monster Encyclopedia. So here's my big issue with the game. I would not have complained about the combat if when we use spectacles, it just told us this information. Why wasn't this the standard item reveal in spectacles? I'm glad in later games, not necessarily the one we're about to play next when we continue with the Tale series, but like in general, like I need to know like what kinds of damage they do. Like I missed some early enemies, I don't really care about those. But like, for example, it tells you like what he resists, you know, what kind of damage he deals, so you could plan accordingly. Like there, he absorbs light. You can see like the weaknesses flash. Like this information would have been pretty useful to know when we use spectacle. Question mark. But it is what it is, chat. I figured I'd just show this off, and I just wanted to also show the crab. The crab's nearly immune to everything, but it's fine. Also, it'll keep track of what items can actually be stolen, which is not a lot. There's enemies we've never even seen their alternate drop. Just showcasing it. Yeah, Spectacles really should have told us this instead of having to look it up in the bestiary. Yeah, see, here's another thing. You know how they could have fixed this as well? Let's say they were concerned, right, chat? Let's say they were actually concerned about popping up the screen in combat. You know what they could have done, chat? They could have just opened the monster manual as a button in the attack menu, and they could have done literally nothing different, and it still would have been a better implementation than what they had. Like, it's not even like hardware limitations. Like, why could they not have just added that as a button? Like, that to me is just crazy. I mean, I'm glad the future games fix it, but very silly, chat. So, Kirk, we've actually beaten the game. We're just messing around in it at the moment. I know you missed yesterday's stream. You mentioned being down and about. So now we're just gonna see how hard Odin is. And then I think at the end of the stream we'll have a little vote. So it really just depends on how long it takes to beat this character and then the arena. That'll be a big determining factor as to what we end up doing today. We'll definitely have a vote in general for next week, no matter what. But until that point, I'm not sure. I don't think Rising Phoenix is worth using. It'd be good against this character. Does Dimensional Divide actually beat him? I guess I could go with the Old Faithful of Roaring. Where's the Roaring Kick? Oh, It's too slow. Yeah, now that we have 999 health, it's just very tedious. Obviously, something like this happens. This just wastes our time. And this attack is fairly long. Yeah, so Odin looks free now that we have more health. Like, he just legit looks free. I'm holding guard, by the way. I'm in an infinite. If we didn't have that 20% resistance, I'm pretty sure we would have been looped to death. Like, I'm not even kidding you there. I'm pretty sure we would have died. This is so stupid. This right here, chat. Oh, I can't do anything. What a dumb boss, chat. What an absolutely dumb boss. Please let me have a turn. So I guess the strategy would be to do... Is that a Crimson Blade? I could do... Swallow Kick and a Roaring Kick for maximum damage? Or that's also fine. Is that pushes him away from... That pushes us away from the corner? Okay, like that's not a bad combo. We'll still get hit at the end, but it's doable. And that gives our health regen more time to trigger, which is the most important thing. Yeah, so I think the strat is something like that. It's not perfect, obviously, because we get stunned every now and then. And then that happens, which is just silly. Yeah, let's flare bottle ourselves so this doesn't take 20 years. Out of curiosity, what's his health total at? We're getting there, chat. It's just tedious. Yeah, the gods mean nothing before a stack of red herbs. As long as we have that 20% resist, we should get out of every combo. I mean, like, that right there is the example of, like, why we're not doing this without Mumbane, because we would be taking, like, 20% more damage compared to Reflex. And also having more health means that the warrior symbol means we don't need to heal. Like, there, we're above 9k again. It's just very tedious. I feel like that also describes the game pretty well. Just kind of tedious. I'm in the infinite again. And we need to push him as much as we can. Oh, come on. Really? He hit me out of that? Yeah, this definitely seems like the strat because it gives our character a chance to... Oh, that sucks. I mean, Mumbane should also give us some lightning resist. Oh, that only did 156? Wow, that did nothing. So you can see we have some ability to bully him. Oh, that's actually hitting now due to our agility. Oh, that feels good, actually. Oh, that feels much better. Oh, I forgot to get orange gummies, didn't I? Oops. This could be interesting. I like him just like stun, like, there we go. I got the gummy out. So anyway, we could cheese it with max health, chat. That's all that matters. We're not even completely immune to him, so we're not even going for like the ultimate cheese. So this is like as close to a legit battle as this will ever get and still be doable. Oh, I've crossed him up. Oh, oh, okay. It's just always his turn. Got it. I tried swallow kicking. Get wrecked. Gonna god breath us. Oh, see, that did some serious damage. Oh, that's right, because Indignation's technically lightning in this game. I keep forgetting that. I always think it's Holy Element. And definitely the 20% dodge is getting us out of the stupid stun loops. So this is about as legit as it gets. Just like baiting his attack over and over, holding guard between attack to hopefully block. And then just pushing him as far as you can so you don't get combo looped. And it seems like we were mostly just missing agility, because like, remember before he kept just like dodging every single time I did that? Oh yeah, stop it. Stop that. Aw. I think it's just due to our accuracy being too low. Well, this should do like literally less than 200, so I don't really care. So he should be dead soon. Are we gonna end this fight at full health? That's also kind of sad. Oh, chat. I love him just like... His spear... Why does his spear hit low and in front of him, but my spear can't hit in front of me? This is BS, chat. Yeah, whenever he casts a spell, it's a free opportunity to get out of the corner. So I think that's also a big issue I had with the game. I couldn't tell what the difference was between an enemy evading me and an enemy being resistant. Because, like, now we're not dropping any hits. Remember that, chat? When I first fought him, I couldn't even Autumn Sandstorm him. Remember that, chat? It just whiffed every time. Oh, so that was kind of nonsense, because I definitely had a hitbox there, but he dodged it. Whatever. Yeah, see, that's the problem with Autumn Sandstorm, is it doesn't push him back far enough. Please stop. I'm holding block. Lion the Infinite, please let me out. Please. Like, chat, like, what is this? I literally can't do anything. It's outside of the player control. Now I could do something. Because he just chose to let me have my turn back. I did not do anything to get out of that situation. Yeah, like, that's just so dumb to me. Oh no, I got punished for Roaring Lion. Like, if we had a manual ring on, I think some of those issues would be resolved. So we wouldn't need the resist ring, I would think. Because I mostly get hit trying to walk back to center, because I can't really stop that. Anyway, we beat Odin, I guess. At this point in the game, it doesn't matter. Ugh. Well done. You've proven yourself worthy of the Spear of the Gods. And a Statue of Justice? Who are you? Oh, that's right. It's Valkyrie. Wait a minute. Whoa. Did you read what she just said there? I didn't read it out loud, but she said, you should choose the red chest first. Chat, so let me get this straight. If you were to beat Odin and you take the left chest, I'm going to do a quick look up. Does that mean you lock yourself out of getting the other item because Odin won't fight you again? One moment, chat. One moment. I'm gonna look this BS up. 1 second. Scrolling to Odin. Oh my gosh, it would lock you out of an item. That is the stupidest way to lose an item. That is so stupid. So yeah, as soon as we take this, we get booted out. As you forge a path to the future, following what you believe in, let that spear clear the way for you. This is farewell. Until that day that death calls you home, we shall not meet again. And you would miss a collectible, I think, right? If you go back? Are you allowed? Yep. Wow. Chat, round of applause. Round of applause. Terrible implementation. I applaud you. I applaud you, Tales of Phantasia. That is actually stupid. That is actually fantastically terrible. Like, this is the kind of stuff, like, if you complain about, like, what do you not do in a video game? Like, that is, like, that's a new one for me. Literally, missable treasure because you chose the wrong one first in the same room. And if you don't talk to the AI first, or Valkyrie or whatever, then you wouldn't know to take the other chest there. Because normally, as a player, you would grab the closest chest. So if you followed your player instinct, you would forever never be able to get that item. That is just truly fantastically garbage. I can't understand how stupid that is, chat. Like, just, wow. Wow. Imagine if you were somebody that was obsessed with the 100%. Could you imagine, like, if you actually had trouble with the Odin fight, that you'd have to redo the entire fight over just to get that one treasure chest, only to learn it's a collectible? I'm at a loss of words, really. That's like a new low for me. So that guy's just teaching me how to get eggs, I guess. Actually, why am I purchasing items? I can't use them in the arena. Really think about that. I guess I technically don't need them. I guess we can equip the sword, or not the sword, excuse me, the spear. Gungnir, terrible slash. Terrible slash value. True Gungnir, the full unleashed power of the legendary spear used during Ragnarok. It has high accuracy, so it's less likely to whiff. But the problem with like how techniques work in this game is that it's not a combination of your two skills that determine the damage, which I think that's how it worked in Tales of Destiny. Outside of a couple skills. This, like, a lot of our endgame skills, like our jump attack where we slam the sword downwards, is slash. Like Roaring Kick, I think is slash, Dimensional Divide is slash. Autumn Sandstorm is thrust. Everything else I think is slash. Like obviously Vacuum Slash is slash, but also Roaring Lion. Shining Strike is, I think it ends with thrust or something. I don't know, chat. Very, very, very suspect. So I guess we'll go back to the arena town and we'll just keep fighting until we get a cameo battle, question mark, to show it off. And that's about all I want to give in terms of this game. I have no interest in doing, as I said before, Moria Mines, or by extension Dark Cave, or by extension treasure hunting items I don't care about. Like, I would have been more up for it if the game didn't feel really awful to play, chat. Like, that's their fault. I don't want to go through that again. So now we have, like, the endgame sword. We should basically be able to just breeze through the arena, outside of maybe the final fight. So we might leave it on our current setup for safety. I don't really see a reason to take it off of this. I don't really need manual mode. So this does give us 20% dark resistance. None of our armor gives us resistance to it at all, so this is the closest we're gonna get to, like, ignoring his combo damage for the final fight. I'm not sure why there's, like, no item that gives dark resist. It's weird that we as the player can't get dark resist, like, basically at all. Like, there's nothing we've collected so far that gives it. And I don't think any armor endgame gives you resistance to it. So this is about as good as you could get coming into here. Like, literally, we're missing a shield if we really want more... Actually, you know what? They don't do water damage. Let's just defense ourselves up. So we're missing one shield, which we could get from the treasure hunt. There's one armor we could get from Moria Mines. But honestly, everything else... we're pretty much using our best. I mean, I could even equip Star Helm. Why not? Who cares? We're not going to fight people that do lightning damage until we get to the cameo fight. Then I want to make sure we have that equipped. So yeah, we have to beat the tournament, get this, chat, I think 10 times. And on the 10th time, we get a chance at fighting the cameo fight. Talk about repetitive, right, chat? So I'm expecting this one to take at least an hour, just because there's a lot of dialogue we can't skip. And yeah, the final fight is kind of annoying. I'll try to beat it on hard just to show it off, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, this... I don't know, chat. Just, I'm glad Tales of Destiny was a lot more fun as a game. I could see where they did improve Tales of Destiny, and then they just made it horrendous. I don't know why they made it horrendous, but I don't appreciate it. You know what's weird to me though, chat? Because people try to say like this game came out first, and I'd like to do a counter offer. Anytime somebody brings up a point where they do a game like this, I'm just gonna bring up that this game came out. This remake, I would like to state, it's not the SNES version because they completely redid the combat, by the way. They changed a whole bunch of spells and they rebalanced the game. And they added features from Tales of Destiny into this. So, when they did the remake, they decided to still keep the elemental enemy resist thing. Like, they didn't have to keep that. They didn't have it in Tales of Destiny, which was after the SNES version of this game. Like, that's on them, chat. Win 10 times, you only get a chance of fighting. No, it's always guaranteed, but, like, it's one of the harder boss fights in the game. That's why I was saying, like, we'll try it. We'll try to do it. The character should look sort of familiar from our Tales of Destiny playthrough. And that's about the only spoiler I will give. We're gonna make sure to, liquor bottle here, because I really don't feel like getting paralyzed. Oh, see that? We're not even whipping hits on this guy anymore. Yeah, we definitely needed more agility. Yeah, see, we're regenerating so much health and we get so much TP after battle that we're good. I don't need to do anything else. So yeah, so our goal is to just clear this as often as possible. As you can see, it's gonna take a while. I can't speed this up. I'm mashing the confirm. So it's like 20 seconds between rounds. I apologize for making you sit through this again. But it is what it is. So other than that, I don't think there's anything else that we missed. Most of the titles just involve getting like all the monsters, which you can't even do in one playthrough anyway, because you need to be able to defeat Douse, and then you have to recollect Bolt at minimum in order for you to get credit for it. So that doesn't really... You can't even get all the titles in one run anyway. It just doesn't matter. There's titles we could get for maxing every single recipe with 5 stars on a character per character. And I'm not doing that. That just sounds really tedious because we'd have to repeatedly just eat over and over and over again. I think there were tips if people really wanted to do it. I think every time you rest at an inn, it resets. But again, think about how tedious that is. You're going like 25 to 30 seconds between meals, and it would potentially take you between like 15 and 30 times to master a recipe per recipe, and there are 24 recipes. And your reward is just getting a title, chat. You don't get anything else. So like that to me is like, again, it's like that time to reward ratio, and in some of the early games, this one in particular is just garbage. Like, if you do that in Berseria, like, Berseria is an easy example because that's the modern Tales. So, like, if you even get halfway there to mastery, because you could get, like, an overall level of cooking mastery, you'll get, like, one skit over and over and over in terms of, like, oh, now this character's at level 20, now you get a skit here, and that'll keep happening for every character. So there's at least, like, progressional story things that are more meant as, like, a joke. And even then, like, some skits you just get immediately by cooking it with a specific character. So I don't know. Like again, the time to reward, and also in cooking in Berseria, you could just mass cook. I don't have to go to an inn or do a battle in between to repeatedly cook. So if I'm missing something, it will take me under like 20 minutes to just master with the character. It's just like that balancing of the time to reward ratio is very key for me enjoying a game, and this game absolutely botches it. It is really bad at the time to reward ratio. Like, just think about how hard it was to get to this point prior to us power leveling and doing the herb. And that's another thing. The herb grinding in this game does make hard mode a joke. I think that's why, like, we breezed through the final dungeon. I think the final boss was also kind of a joke, as long as you had the ninja, because we stun lock forever. But again, it's like that time to reward ratio. Like, by the time, if I went to this area before Odin, or beating Odin, or before getting the Eternal Sword, which is what we're using now, it just kind of took forever to do. And by the time we beat this, we're not going to have any use of whatever it gives us, which is like my other big issue with this game. Like, it's a very common trend. Like, think about it this way. Like, we spent like an hour on Tower of Zodiac. What was the reward? A single sword we're literally never going to use because we already have the Eternal Sword. This doesn't make any sense, chat. Well, this guy's kind of tanky. Yeah, like, I don't know how to tell if he's just... Like, is red equal resist? But then we get red sparks sometimes regardless. I don't know how to visually interpret the information it gives me. Like, when that happened, is he just resistant or am I missing? Who knows? I don't know if there's a visual cue, to be honest. They look the same to me. Also, this guy's health total is just kind of absurd. Please die. Did he really stun me? Please die. Okay, this fight takes forever without the right weapon. Holy. I swear I've hit this guy with like 30 techs. What is going on? Oh, I'm using Spectacle. What is happening? How much health does he have? Holy F. I mean, I guess I could Thunderclaw, but it's like really inconsistent on this enemy. So I would have to do that skill 43 times, I think, if I'm reading it correctly. If we do roughly 1,000 per sandstorm. Man, that's tedious. Anyway, we'll make sure to use our time stop on this enemy, because I am not redoing this fight if we lose. If we lose, it's over, chat. Say goodbye to Phantasia. It is being shut down and deleted. I'm gonna free the memory space on the memory card. It's gonna be deleted. Let's purge it. I don't even want the clear save. I will just purge it completely. I'm like, I want that memory back. So we're gonna start with a flare bottle and hope we don't get stun locked immediately. Actually, hold on. Oh, he jumped backwards from us? Thank you. That gave us an opportunity to actually do something. Oh, I can't block him. I forgot, I can't block. So now that we have this long chain of events, this gives us more time to heal. Oh, we're still getting bodied. Wow. 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 Alright, we can time stop him at least. No, don't reset to start. Wait, did he just invulnerability through that? That was absurd. Please stop. What is this? Why am I whiffing randomly? What is this, chat? I'm gonna take the mixed gummy right now. Wow, I'm barely winning this and I'm at 999 health. That's insane. What is happening? Give me a turn. Jeez. We're gonna chronoglass him into spectacle. I legit almost died. That's crazy. He still has so much health left. What the heck? Alright, we're healing. Oh my gosh. How are we gonna beat another boss after this? Or do we not have to fight this boss for that cameo fight? Holy. Wow, this is actually insane. Why is he... Oh, his random resistances are terrible. Oh my gosh. He is stronger than the gods. That's absurd. I almost game overed. That's so stupid, chat. That is so stupid. We received the title of champion finally. Yeah, I don't want to fight that 9 more times on hard, chat. I think I'm just gonna set it to normal. I've already proven I can beat it on hard. I don't have anything left to prove. I'm not grinding this on hard. No thank you. We're lowering difficulty, chat. I've had enough. Your fighting technique in the tournament was truly a wonder to behold. Thank you very much. Well then, I have something I wish to ask of all of you immediately. This tournament is not simply an event to put on to allow individuals to demonstrate their strength. In reality, it is organized in an effort to seek potential candidates for a special task force charged with eliminating Douse. We wish to enlist all of you as soon as possible. What do you say? Well, that is... Your Majesty, allow me to express our deepest apologies. We're currently on a mission of our own to defeat Douse. We're thankful for the offer, but having pursued Douse across time, we believe seeing this quest through to the end is our destiny. I see. And I will say no more. Now then, we will present you with your reward. Please take it with our thanks. This is an Ogi text. We learned Roaring Fang. Yeah, I don't even want to picture this boss on Mania. There has to be, like, some super gimmicky setup with him. So, like, he's weak to fire and light. So, like... That was just honestly nonsense at the end. What would be faster? I imagine you would have to have the manual ring to set it up, but... I don't know if we can abuse Crimson Blade at all on manual. But yeah, chat. I've had enough. Listen, chat. It's going to normal. I'm not beating that again on that difficulty. So chat will have to help me keep track of how many times I've beaten this. Because this is literally padding the game. So now that he has half health, it shouldn't be that bad. And he should also do way less damage, by the way. So I think, if nothing else, this is a good example of like how difficult hard mode is compared to normal mode. And there is a 0% chance I will try this on Mania. I'm not even interested. I don't even want to waste my time. We can't win against Mania him, I'm pretty sure. Because I had to use every single time stop in order to beat him. Is the technique I got any good, or is it a garbage reward for a garbage task? Well, I think we both know the answer to this question before I even touch it. So we'll have to fight something that doesn't die instantly to us, like Squid. I'm like, it's gonna be pretty much not as useful as the Roaring Lion at the end. So if we had a fire sword for him at the end, I think it would be easier to beat him on this difficulty, weirdly. Wait, what is this? Oh, it's a new enemy? Oh. Well, that's disappointing. I didn't know they were actually going to change the enemies up. I would have left it on hard in that case. But whatever, we still have to fight the Bear Beast or whatever. I don't have total regret when it comes to that. What did it give us? Roaring Strike, I think? The Roaring Fang or Strike? I mean, it's just Roaring Lion and then... I guess. Wow, that doesn't really do a lot. Anyway, back to Dimensional Divine. So I guess there's extra enemies just in the arena. Oh look, we're recovering our gummy usage via random reward drops. Yeah, I don't think we fought wherever that is, if it did exist in the game. I'm just gonna skip through the dialogue since this is the same stuff over and over again. There's the squid. This is what I wanted to practice on, but it's fun. Yeah, like, how fast does the Kraken die, comparatively? If I just do this, is he dead? Wow, okay, that's much faster. So, I think going forward, to respect the viewer's time, I will probably not play the next Tales games on a high difficulty. Unless it is, like, super boring easy, I will not touch the difficulty, because I don't want to get into another Phantasia. I just don't want to, chat. I have no interest. It's kind of like East, where, like, we can raise the difficulty of the modern games, because I feel it is too easy. But in terms of, like, the old school games, I did not play those on higher difficulties. Next up would be Eternia, that is correct. And that game is actually genuinely hard, from what I recall, and not in like a Tales of Phantasia, haha, look how cheap we are hard. As I said before, like, it kind of no mercies you in the beginning, so if I can clear the first boss from that point onward, the rest of the game is fine. But yeah, getting to that first boss, if we were playing on hard, I might even showcase hard on that just to the first boss and then do the rest of the playthrough on normal. Just because I remember how silly the damage was in that game and how little you have to counteract it early on. I remember basically only beating the first boss on hard due to an exploit. Also, I just clear him completely. Which, like, it is worth at least mentioning and showing off at some point. I don't know if it'll be like, oh, we're gonna save right before the boss and just, like, beat him on normal, then reload on hard or something. But it is very silly how quick you could die in that game. I would say if this game didn't let me herb farm, I would have said this would have been the hardest Tales game. But because you can herb farm, I still feel like Eternia is harder. Because, like, the enemies have, like, actual combat mechanics to them, question mark. And they have a lot less spells that pause the screen, so you could just get wombo comboed by spells. Yeah, so their dialogue is the same here. Nothing to see, chat. So we'll see. So, one moment. Excuse me. Throat was bothering me. Excuse me, wow. Throat is being really itchy at the moment. I'll blame allergies, chat. But in any case, what I was gonna say is that regardless, I wanted to take a break from Tales series for a little bit after Phantasia. Because I definitely need a break after Phantasia. Because this game was very, very disappointing to me. I need to get back into the mood for a Tales game. So I don't want it to impact, like, it's not fair if I judge Eternia with the mood I'm in now, currently for Phantasia. So I like to just reset, we'll play something else. What that something else will be inevitably the October games, and potentially one other game in between. But then I think we'll go back to Eternia, because I would like to not completely drop the series, but at the same time, I'm like, ooh. After the hard mode, I'm like, not the most entertaining of things. Oh, is this a new skeleton? Guess we could spectacle him. Skeleton King, chat. Can he paralyze us? You know what? Let's not risk it. Let's just liquor bottle. So even if we level at this point, it doesn't really matter. Level ups in this game are pretty inconsequential compared to herbs. Like, one herb is almost more powerful than 2 levels, to be honest. So we're now getting a chance to fight him again. Apparently, in the SNES version, we didn't have to fight this monster, but the Wyvern. AKA the monster we fought in Tales of Destiny. So originally, they even had the same bonus boss, by the way. Only in this version, they changed it up for whatever reason. Not really sure why, but I guess there's that. Oh yeah, look at that, chat. Look at his health total. Whatever. He still does damage on normal, I guess. But you can see, like, we don't have... Oh, we're doing way more damage to him, too. Oh yeah, way easier, chat. Look at this. Yeah, he's only doing 1,000 instead of, like, 2K with it. He interrupted my skill. That was very rude. Please let me get a chance to use the skill. Or we'll just whip every hit. That's also fine. Really, game? Really? Oh, I'm not given the time stop in this one? Is it because of the... Is that what it is? Hard mode gives you time stop to deal with his trash nonsense? That kind of makes sense. We actually have to beat this more legit. Huh. Interesting. I clearly don't have the time stop, chat. I guess even they realized how stupid this boss fight was. Speaking of which... Can I please get a turn? I'm just like, please? So none of the dialogue is here. I'm not gonna read it again. No new dialogue. We just have to get all the way back to the king. We gotta walk all the way back. Does he say anything different this time? Not really. He's just regretting not putting us in the task force. Special item set. I guess we could take a look at what this does. So yeah, once we're done with the arena, we'll have a formal vote. But I guess in general, I can ask early, but I could formally put it in the chat later. So we have 2 sessions guaranteed where we have kind of like a free space. So that could be something like some more kind of one-off games on the SNES. It could be something like... I'm not even gonna name a game. We'll just put it as it'll be a one-off SNES game and or 2 one-off SNES games. I don't want to do the Soten randomizer. I'm actually waiting for it to be updated, or else I would put that in as an option, because that's a pretty good one-off most of the time. But I actually wanted to update, hopefully by like the second week of October, we'll probably play it. But from there, the question would be like what the chat would want to see. I could potentially do something like East Origin as well. I'll leave that as like another option. So we'll have the SNES one off, East Origin, like arena stuff. What else? Or I guess we could start the October stuff early. I guess those would be your main choices at the moment. We got Teacup. Even one piece of a set could be quite valuable. We got the Tapestry and Marble. Mm-hmm. Because unfortunately, with only 2 sessions, I can't, like, complete a full SNES game, or else I would have chosen a different game. But because we're doing this today to just get the extra stuff in Phantasia, I can't do, like, a really short SNES RPG. I mean, like, I technically could, but it would be skipping all dialogue, and it would be kind of pointless. It'd be like speedrun only. New enemy type, okay. Would Carla. One thing I was thinking about just now, like the Darius emblem, is it like Darius Carlin? Is that the same name as his homeland? I wasn't thinking about that from last stream, but I just thought about it now. I guess that kind of makes sense. Speaking of which, try something a bit different here. Can I do... Oh, it's not there. Crimson Blade? That's not too bad. Yeah, those are the options I was thinking about. At some point, I'm going to do East Origin regardless, so even if we don't pick it for next weekend, I will do it the next time I have a bonus stream, because I would like to formally conclude that. We had some messed up audio with our original playthrough. I'd just like to at least do the arena stuff, which would be like a good session's worth of content. Otherwise, I don't really have anything to say about what's going on screen. It's just very boring combat, unfortunately. So if chat wants to discuss anything, let me know. If there are other games you were thinking of, if you want to know what else is on my general list in the future, I can also talk about that. I was just more thinking the immediate future, since we'll be having a probably informal vote. But definitely chat, if anything calls out to you, just let me know. I'm half wondering how fast it would be to play Kirby Superstar Ultra. I've never actually timed how long it took for me to beat that game. I'm assuming you could also probably beat that in like 2 sessions. Like, the longest part of the game is the mine offensive. No, maybe not. Actually, it could be the other one getting the copy abilities. Yeah. I mean, Great Cave Offensive would be its own stream. The other ones are definitely, like, you could beat it in under, like, an hour. Like, all of them. Yeah, I think Milky Way Wishes. I forget the name of the modes. It's been a long time. But yeah, where you go into the start menu and select abilities. That one can take a while if you're going for 100%. I believe you do have to backtrack a couple times. Also, what am I doing? I need liquor bottle in this fight. I just made that really risky for no reason. Oh, he heals off of fire? That sucks. Just Thunderclaw him repeatedly. Nah, see, that just whiffs too much. This only costs 1 more and does the same amount of damage. If it wasn't, like, inconsistent jank, I'd probably do that. So yeah, I have a feeling that Kirby will probably be the SNES one-off, but if I think of anything else, I'll probably put it there. I'm not sure if people have a preference for what version to play, Ultra Star or Superstar. I think Superstar is pretty solid from what I remember. I don't remember if the gimmicks added in Ultra Star are better? Question mark. I know they added a lot more cutscenes. I remember that much, but I know they did tweak some abilities. Right, but I'm like, sometimes when they modify the game, that's not always in a good way, is what I mean. Like, I'm aware Ultra's after Super, because it's the same game, just with more modes. Like, if we played Ultra Star, I probably would not be able to beat the final arena, the true arena, or whatever it is. I had a lot of trouble with that on Ultra. Not the original arena, I don't think I had too much of an issue, but specifically the true arena, where you fight the new super boss, where it just takes forever to get to him, and then you don't really get to practice him. And then it's like, oh, you don't have plasma, you lose. I don't really find that fun, to be honest. But I can clear everything else. Yeah, maybe we'll just do Superstar. I think I remember where most of the items are in the Great Cave Offensive. There were a couple of tricky input ones. I remember having to play as Jet a couple times. Oh, what am I doing? Ooh, please don't paralyze me. Alright, there we go. We're good. We're good. Oh, he died almost immediately. That's kind of crazy. I'm mashing that confirm chat of like, please. Oh, it's a starfish. We fought this thing before. Speaking of Superstar, it's a sign, chat. Goodbye, Mr. Starfish. I don't like you. It is a sign. I think that decided for us. So I guess if we're gonna do SNES one-off, it'll be Superstar, because that's a game I don't think I could beat in one session unless it's a long session. But across 2 sessions, it's probably doable. Especially since I've played it before. It's not a blind playthrough. Like, the only thing I'd have to brush up on are the treasure locations. That's probably the hardest thing for me. And, like, 2 of the copy abilities offhand I don't remember how to get to. I remember just kind of cheesing everything with Plasma, but I think I also use Mirror to some extent. I cheesed a lot of things with Mirror. I liked its full defense shield. Alright, let's Flare Bottle. Yo-Yo's pretty solid. Do we have anything else that, like, pushes them really far away? I guess I could see if this move's any good. Not bad. Although, it doesn't last as long if I want health. Wow, wow, that was so fast? Wow, okay, that was our most convincing win so far, chat. Yeah, that was really fast. He only hit us twice, that's kind of crazy. I think I was okay with Yo-Yo. I remember not liking a lot of the core abilities that much. Like, I did not like Fire, for example. I was not a fan of Sword or Cut. I mostly play with more gimmicky things. I was better with, like, Beam, Mirror. I don't think I'm super good at Yo-Yo from remember. I remember not liking Ninja. I wanted to be good at Ninja, and I just wasn't. I was just like, I like Ninja in the other games, just not specifically that one. I think the only one that I kind of liked was Freeze, because it would just insta-kill things. And it had, like, okay movement abilities from, like, the core set. They improved a lot of the abilities of modern Kirby games, exactly. Like, there's ones where, like, I use it for puzzle, but don't enjoy it, like Stone. Like, there's, like, really specific scenarios I would prefer it over other abilities, but generally I don't like it. And I like Wheel as, like, the partner ability, but I don't like to have Wheel. So I'll never be a speedrunner. Not for that game, anyway. Maybe East 4, maybe, but not that one. I remember trying to take time to learn Jet, because Jet is probably the most technically complicated. Oh, what is this? Yeah, I was gonna... Oh, it's this thing again. I mean, like, East 4 is, like, I could just literally beat it in, like, an hour or less. That's like, a perfect length for me. Jet is hard. Yeah, there's, like, a lot of quick cancels. Bird, for example, is also really technical. And, like, I'm not bad with it. I can do some of, like, the Condor Dive stuff to, like, skip things. It's just, I would probably have to watch somebody do it again, just because it has been a really, really long time since I played. But I know I'm capable of doing the inputs, and I mostly remember the inputs, even not having played it in a long time. Not since, like, Ultra Star, whenever that game came out. Whatever year that was the last time I played. Yeah, there's some neat things you could do with the bird. I don't like it for damaging purposes, but it is very quick with the movement. As I said before, like, Condor Dive is really fast. I think speedrunners also use Condor Dive on bird. Just because there's so much invulnerability frames, and it moves faster than most other forms of movement. But yeah, it's very technically challenging. Came out in 2008. Well, 2008 is the last time I played the game then. So, 13 years ago. Oh, I used Phantasia bottle. I'm on liquor bottle. That could be a fun little game just to do as a one-off. Or as I said before, we could start the Halloween stuff early. Because that'll mean Cold Deca. Which hopefully won't be a super, super long RPG. I'm hoping we can finish it in, like... probably the month? I feel like Cold Deca will be the longest thing we'll attempt to do, so that's why I want to hold the weekend for it, so we can always do a longer stream. I would just need, like, a break in between. Just, like a 10-minute break for food or something. So yeah, I definitely want to leave it open for what people want to see. Hello, Pharaoh. He's gonna force me to do children's card games, chat. It's bad. Gotta defeat him now. Yeah, I'll leave Streets of Rage for the weekdays, as I said before, because that's kind of our filler game, quote-unquote, before October. That's why I'm also leaving that off the table. Otherwise, I would do probably Streets of Rage 4. Brutal chat, just brutal. This arena is taking much longer than I thought. Mostly just due to these unskippable cutscenes. Like, it is really, really long. We're getting like 30 plus seconds of padding between battles. It's kind of bad. Like, that one alone was almost 15 seconds. And then, like, menuing to select the next one is kind of bad. Let's just do some normal slashes. Wait, did she resist it, but then I hit her anyway, because it does falling strikes? That's funny. Why am I not getting the uppercut? There we go. Whatever. She'll die eventually, chat. That's all that matters. So we'll try to keep the weekday games on the shorter end, but we'll cycle through a couple options, I think. We'll see if the chat's in the mood for more of a like a medium length SNES RPG, something short, comparatively. See what the chat wants. So I guess while we're waiting for the arena to do its thing, because I'm at the mercy of the game at this point, I guess I'll talk about other series I've written down that we'll do in the future. Oh, hold on, there's a bee. What is this? Queen bee. I'm gonna liquor bottle immediately, just in case it paralyzes instead of poisons or something stupid. Oh, it's got like no health. So, I know at some point as an option, I mean, like, I wrote Cold Deca, but I'm still probably going to ask the chat what they would like to see for the Halloween game. Also, what the heck is this? Really? You're not going to do the run attack semi-auto mode? You're just going to do that over and over and whiff? Wow. This is okay, chat. This is actually stupid. I can't do anything to hit this enemy other than lure it in the corner. Game design, chat. Game design. So I guess we'll talk about future games. We will probably do at some point, both as either filler or as like a standalone. So I have a couple options written down here for like what I would probably do in the more immediate future versus like overall options for the game. Because I wrote things like Kessen, for example. Kessen I'll do whenever I feel like, so I just like Kessen. But in terms of just like one-offs or like tying it into other series, I'm thinking whenever we do end up start up the Mana series, we'll play a game called Secret of Evermore, which is kind of like the North American take of Secret of Mana. So it'll be interesting. Whenever we do Secret of Mana, we'll just compare it to Secret of Evermore. We'll probably do both of those back to back and then go into the rest of the Mana series. From there, it's like kind of a one-off. We'll probably play Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, which I like to call a game you play just for the soundtrack and nothing else. But it has a good soundtrack. We get to enjoy some really interesting SNES music. Definitely at some point, our weekend series, whenever we decide to, I guess, conclude the Tales playthrough, we'll probably go back to Eternia Odyssey Untold. Yeah, I actually, that sounded kind of condescending for Mystic Quest. I actually do like that game a lot, even though it is really simple. And it's like, I wish some mechanics in that were in other Final Fantasy games, as I would find them a lot more interesting if they did it. And we'll get to that when we see the game itself. Also, why is he just anti-airing me so hard? What is happening? Please stop. There we go. I guess the fire damage does like a lot more to him than it visibly displays. Like the numbers could be overlapping. I think that's what's happening there. Oh boy, we level chat. Definitely at some point, either as an option for October or even post-October semi-horror games. Definitely want to do the Deception series at some point. That's more of like a puzzle-based game. I was thinking either Cold Echo will be on the weekend or it could be the weekday. I haven't really decided which one it fits more, to be honest. Then I want to try out the Wild Arms series again, because it's been a long time since I played those, but I think those were pretty solid RPGs people might not have played. Rick's asking what the Deception series is. What a great question. So there are quite a few games created by, what is it, Tecmo? The Dynasty Warriors team, Kirk. They originally did something other than Dynasty Warriors, if you could believe it. And it's a puzzle-based game. The first game is more of a first-person, the rest are more of a third-person perspective. But the intent is essentially you are designed to... Thank you, Koei Tecmo. You are intended to basically defend a mansion in most of the games, and the idea being that your face buttons are associated to traps of different heights. So you have like X is your ground trap, circle is like a special, square is your wall trap, triangle is a ceiling trap. And the intent behind it is that you set up combos on enemies in order to stop them from invading you. You do have the option of letting people go, and depending on whether or not you kill versus save, you do get different endings. So there are a lot of endings depending on how far into the series you get. You could just choose to maim people, and then they potentially bring in reinforcements, or, for example, if you kill them, maybe their family shows up in later stages to make it more difficult, because they're looking for revenge. So it is actually really interesting in that dynamic, that it kind of goes both ways. Like, either you get reported, and then, like, a different group of people come in, or, like, the family comes in to defeat you. Or maybe your reputation dies down a bit. It really just depends on how you play through the game, or which game it is. So that one's interesting. We'll probably start with the first-person one, which I have never played before, and it is very different than the other ones. And oh, new enemy. And it is very early PS1, but I think it should still be entertaining for what it is. Oh yeah, that does a lot of fire damage, actually. That's how we killed the other guy so quick. Yeah, that move is kind of silly. So that one I do find very interesting. It goes from... I think it's literally called, like, Tecmo's Deception is the first one in the series. Then it just becomes, like, Deception 2, Deception 3. And then they have a... I'm not going to say... I guess it's technically a spiritual successor. They renamed it for whatever reason, but there's Trapped on the PS2. And then there is also Deception 4, which is a actual mainline series Deception game. That one I'm on the fence if I want to show the chat. It is a bit more lewd, I would say, which is unfortunate. Even though I think the gameplay is really good, I just don't know if it's super appropriate. There are certain moments where it is, like, comically funny. Like, you could strip the male knight armor off, and they could be put into, like, goofy outfits. And I think, like, that portion of it is fine. It's just more the other characters I'm a little more concerned about. Yeah. Like, it is, like, it has some really funny stuff in it. Like, you can, like, slap somebody with the wall, and they end up being, like, the fourth game is, like, very comical, potentially, with the traps, rather than more deadly serious. So you could, for example, make them, like, die on a rocking horse kind of thing, or put them on a roller coaster. I think you could also, as I said before, you could dress them up in goofy costumes. I'm gonna make sure I don't get paralyzed here as we talk. And it is very funny from that standpoint, as there are very comical things you could do to them. I mean, there you have the traditional traps from the older games as well, but if you just want to taunt people with it, it's pretty good. But as I said before, some of the character design is very questionable. And it's super unfortunate, because if all they did was censor that, I would probably have no issues with the game. Because overall, I think it is like a very big improvement over the other games, and that there's like more layers of traps. Like, I think instead of setting just 4 traps, you could set 8 traps, and then your character has a unique action on them, for example. Like, it is actually more advanced, and it is very interesting, but as I said before, questionable designs for some of the female characters. And I don't want to make people uncomfortable, because for me personally, I don't like it when things get too lewd either direction. I prefer more tame things. So I find it very distracting when they're not dressed like normal people, just the way to put it. So aside from that, Wild Arms series, I have the first game, like I actually legit own it. The other games I would have to look for. We'd probably just try it again, just to see how it is. I remember it being fun. That one also has an interesting gimmick with the dungeons to make it a bit more involved than some of the standard older RPGs. So if nothing else, it'll be cool to show that off. Then I believe Steve or Stickman WW in the chat did request for me a long time ago Legend of Dragoon, and we'll fit that in somewhere. I haven't decided where it would work best, but I would like to do that for him at some point. As I said to him, it would be more like a one-off at some point, but it would be like a long one-off. So if I feel I need a break from one of the series, I'll probably switch over to Legend of Dragoon. That game is pretty long. Well, thank you, Zweehander Steve, for following. I do appreciate it as we talk about non-sequiturs compared to Phantasia. I figured we'd mention it. Yeah, Legend Dragoon is one of those games I own and I have never beaten. I think I was intimidated by the fact that it's 4 discs on PS1. And I'm like, why is this game 4 discs? Oh no. it's just like, I'm like, oh no, is this longer than Final Fantasy VII? What's happening? Yeah, it's amazing. I should take a photo of it in case I can't find a photo online. And I feel like even though it is a turn-based game, and I feel I'm mostly grown out of turn-based games, I'm generally bored of them unless they do something more advanced. I feel like that game at least has moments where I do need to input things. I kind of remember, like, timing your buttons impact the damage, so I feel like it at least makes me focus a bit more on the game rather than just, like, brain off fight or, like, brain off spam full screen spell, which I think is a problem with a lot of the earlier turn-based RPGs and why you will never see me play them. I just don't find their combat interesting, and that happens to be like 50% of the game. But we'll be playing potentially a modded version of the game, just because I want to take a look at it. It's supposed to have a lot of quality of life features. Like, I'm just looking at a list of the mods suggested for the game. So, like, for example, give non-active party members the same XP as active party members instead of half. Fix a weird encounter rate bug issue in the original game that lowered your encounter rate when running to the up and to the right. Some quality of life things like more inventory space, 32 to 64, and then remove censorship from the game, because apparently the game is censored in the US version. That could be interesting, if nothing else, even for people that have seen it before. They might not have seen some of the Japanese changes. I figured that would be something else to try. I have a couple of one-offs here and there, depending on if we're going for more an October theme. So, for example, if we don't end up going with Kirby Superstar, I think an option of a one-off would be playing one of the Castlevania games. Like one of the older Castlevania games, like, specifically I think Castlevania Bloodlines on the Genesis, because I feel like nobody has played that game, and most people don't even realize there's a Castlevania game on Genesis. I feel like I've had this conversation with multiple people, and they're like, wait, there is? It's not... Nintendo isn't the sole... like, the sole system with a mainline Castlevania? So we'll play that at some point. That's a good one-session kind of game. Then there's, like, the Genesis answer to Link to the Past, a game called Crusader of Senti. Another game I feel like people have never heard of. So that could be fun to play through. It involves getting animal friends, so I feel like the chat would enjoy it if nothing else, just for getting all the animals. Although from what I remember, I beat the game and I missed one because there's literally one missable animal and I skipped it by accident. So hopefully this time I will remember not to skip the... I think it's a Tanuki. I hope I don't skip the Tanuki. Or I'll be kind of upset again because I would have to restart the game depending on where we are. Then I mentioned it in a previous stream, but this would be for like probably like 3 or 4 sessions. A game called Beyond Oasis. I mostly just want to play it because it's a Yuzo Koshiro soundtrack game. And I think I'll play the retranslated version of the game because that game was also censored in the US. Oh, why a spectacle there? I meant the flare bottle. Wait, how did he just ignore his weak point strike? What? Why am I no longer hitting him? What is happening? There we go. Some jank was happening, chat. I don't know how else to explain it. Jank happened. Why is the fire move not hitting him? What is going on? Does he just dodge his fire attack, even though it's his weakness? That's stupid. Okay, he died almost instantly. Okay, so it must be hitting him for like 8,000 plus. It just is hard to see how many hits the fire move actually does. So we'll be playing that game at some point. We had somebody request Ninja Warrior for the SNES, and that game was actually kind of hard to track down. I was surprised. I had to do some searching for it, chat. But I did pick up a copy. So we'll probably be playing that on the weekday. And I don't think I have the thing set up to play Super Ninja Baseball. No, excuse me, it's Super Ninja Batman Baseball or something like that. It has a strange name. I have to set up a specific system for that. But eventually we'll play that game. Oh, thank you. Ninja Baseball Batman, thank you. Something like that. I knew that if I put those words into Google, I would eventually get the game that I'm looking for. And that game is very strange, so we'll definitely do that at some point. Okay, so what's our reward for beating the tournament yet again? Not an herb set. There's not a lot of games with a combination of names, exactly. I'm like, I believe in Google. It'll know what I'm talking about. It's very silly stuff. So I think that's pretty much what's on the calendar, as it were, for future things. Also, actually useful herbs? Chat, what game am I playing? The game didn't just troll me? Oh, I don't have enough room bottles. I guess I did get trolled. I gotta leave the arena. Find more room bottles, chat. Is getting strength up would speed this process just to see the cameo fight. It is actually worth doing, surprisingly. Yeah, now our accuracy's higher, and we do more damage. Nice. Item shop, I think, is the bottom right? Yeah. It is quite the title. If you've never seen it before, you're in for a treat. We'll probably do that on a weekday, as I said before. It'll probably be, if I had to guess, next Thursday. I just need some time to set it up. Sure, we'll cap all of our items, chat. Why not? More agility, more health. I mean, I guess I could cap my TP. I guess that one's useful. And I guess I'll just give it to Quill, because why not? Oh, I should have given it to Volt if I ever really wanted to show off the other content of the game, but I don't think I will. Max health by 10%. Sure, why not? Let's make our team have like 9k plus health at level 70. I'm sure that's what the game intended me to do. Thank you, button memorization minigame, for saving me like several thousand hours of grinding to get to a respectable HP total for hard mode. Much better, chat, much better. Look forward to reliving it. Yeah, definitely. I feel like for those games, if Kirk is interested in joining in, especially like the beat 'em up weekday games, Kirk is definitely... I will just let him into Parsec. He can just go wild, whatever he wants. but we'll discuss before stream whether or not we want to do co-op. Like, for example, I could even technically stream a co-op game on Monday if Kirk wants, for example, if he wants to do Streets of Rage or something. I'm not opposed to it. Otherwise, I'll just continue through the current playthrough. I did double check because somebody mentioned in the other stream, apparently there is a Streets of Rage remake on the 3DS, and I never knew about it. It's going to be very hard to attain, but it could be interesting to take a look at. Yeah, they remade Streets of Rage 2 in 3D. I was like, oh, really? I've never heard of it, chat.
This is getting interesting.
This is getting interesting. Thank you, Arngrim from Valkyrie Profile, / whoever slipped that into the vocals of the stream. I was gonna say, Kurt, listen, you could do whatever you want in Streets of Rage. As long as you have a good time, that's all I care about. Thank you, Hey Connor1, for following. I do appreciate it. We're just chatting about things as we kind of mindlessly clear the arena. We have a long time to go in this arena, unfortunately. So we're just looking to get to the cameo fight, and then that'll probably be the last thing I show off in this game. Because we've already beaten the game. The game's over. We did not need this much health for the final boss. We needed health on hard mode for the Seal Eyes, but not the final boss. I'm like, come on, Kirk. Are you telling me you don't want to power slide, power slide, power slide? Are you telling me you are not tempted to give into the dark side of the DLC characters? I believe in you, Kirk. I think you can play Max. I think in your heart you know all of his combos already. Indeed, power slide, power slide. Oh, I see what you mean about the audio for that one. I'll see if I can bump it up louder. I think because there's like a background sound to it, I think it amplified the background sound, but not the vocals. I'll fix that sound effect later, chat. See, now I can hear it because the audio is working as intended. Yeah, I'll bump that up like 20% for you, chat. You know, problems giving into the strength of the power slide, exactly. It's so good. It's so godlike. Yeah. It should be fun to go through. Also, I'm kind of curious if you could do the arena in co-op. I never actually explored that. But definitely at one point I want to show off just the gameplay of the couple of character clears, and we'll see where it goes from there. But definitely, chat, if there are other RPG series you are interested in seeing played at some point, we will definitely pick it up, but I will not promise it will be this year. I promise you I do write it down and it goes on the list. It's just that some of these series are very long. Kind of like how East took like an entire year to go through. Like, we cleared it eventually, but it did take a while. Also, why am I using fire on this guy? Wait, what? Wait, whoa. Why is... Were we fighting more than one Basilisk King? Because he definitely fire absorbed me earlier. I feel confused now. Whatever, I'll just spam this. He should be dead. I swear we did this earlier, chat, because remember I tried using the fire sword and he kept health stealing it, and it made the fight take forever. Remember that, chat? I guess there was more than one Basilisk. I wasn't paying attention to the name, apparently. Oh well. Would have been good to know. But yeah, that could be fun. Streets of Rage, Remake, I think we're kind of coming to the tail end of that, and we'll go into more of those. Digimon World 3, Digimon Story Star Sleuth, Tombi Tomba count. I kind of remember playing Tomba. I don't remember having a strong opinion one way or another about the game. I don't think it was too bad with platforming, because as I said before, I'm not good at platformers. You will not see me play like a Jak and Daxter kind of game, but that one I feel was more tame. I don't remember the platforming being atrocious or anything. It's kind of like, if it's like fairly forgiving, like I want to say Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom, which I should probably also stream at some point for chat. Like, that's kind of the level of platforming I want to do. The most intense I think I'll go would be something that has like a lot of air dashes to make up for not having precise jumps. So like the later parts of Rogue Legacy. For example, like I actually do like playing Rogue Legacy, even though that game does have some unforgiving platforming. But mostly just because you get extra jumps and dashes later. And then I'm like, oh, I like the game now. Air Dash as Mega Man X Stream. I can also do a Mega Man X Stream as a one-off. I'll denote that. I've never actually played through any of the X games other than one. I just never grew up with them. So like where I know X to death, and I could probably do okay. Although it'll probably be Hadouken spam cheese nonsense towards the end. Like I think I could probably clear without that many deaths. Only probably the Sigma stages I would expect to actually get legit stage deaths. I know it's like a challenge to myself at one point. I did like Boomer Koanger first. I think like sometimes I purposely do them in the quote-unquote wrong order. Just to see like how doable it is with like basic Buster stuff. But we'll probably play a more traditional route if we do that. DX and ZX Advent are good Mega Man games too. Are those the ones involving Zero and the Game Boy? Because I remember not liking those at all. That's what they are. See, my problem with the Zero games, if that's the one you're talking about, is that it grades you. So somebody that has never played it before, I find it as a total... Oh, it's just Mega Man Zero? Okay. I haven't played... I wasn't sure what Advent was. I don't know what Advent is. DX and Advent are sequel to... Or the DS game. Yeah, because yeah, the ones involving Zero, where he's the playable character, and you have to get the elves or whatever, I don't like the fact that it graded you, and you would miss moves if you didn't get high enough grade. That bothered me. I would have to take a look into those. I'll make a note of it, though. Apparently both of these are DS games. Just to note it here. Because, I mean, we have the ability to play 3DS on stream, so I don't imagine it would be too hard to do just a regular DS game. Also, there's a pumpkin. Hello, pumpkin. You're very green today. We'll get status immunity in case he paralyzes. Or like a Mega Man Metroidvania. Okay, good to know. I know a couple of people have asked me to do... What's the series called? Mega Man Battle Network, but I have never played those either. Yeah, like, if it's like, as long as there's no grading, like, to me, that's a big turnoff in a game. Like, the only time I feel comfortable with grading is if it doesn't require stage memorization for it, and is more strategy-based. And the easiest example I could give of that is Advance Wars. I feel like 95% of the time, it's just, if I have a good strategy, I will S-rank every time. I mean, like, sometimes I have to adapt to the stage, like, for example, the Fog of War stages, or, like, the final boss for being good, I guess, with the combination of commanding officers, but it's generally more in my control as a first-time player. Love the Battle Network series. They could be a bit awkward janky, though, especially the earlier ones. Yeah... I saw a little bit of the gameplay. I mean, I feel neutral towards it. I'm not, like, jumping to do it, because I didn't really see too much of this series. I think I've seen the cartoon a little bit, but I was told the games are a bit different than the cartoon. I don't know how true that is, because, again, I've not played the game, but I just thought I'd state that. So we're now fighting Fen Beast for... Chat will have to remind me, is this the 4th or the 5th time? Or, excuse me, Golf Beast. It's looking very menacing. Let's go ahead and Flare Bottle the victory. So this is like the only fight I have to pay attention to, because if I whiff Shining Strike, we're going to take so much damage. The early ones can be pretty lackluster compared to games like 3. That's good to know. This is Golf Beast number 5. Wow, we've been clearing through them. Well, that went pretty smoothly. I think the option is definitely just swallow kick into our Ogi art, and that locks down the enemy pretty easy. Like, generally speaking, if I try a series, I will try to start it from the beginning, because I like to capture the whole series. Unless I'm, like, really, really unsure about it. Sort of like Ys, where I wasn't sure how I'd feel about the modern Ys. So we just jumped straight into Lacrimosa, but then we went all the way back to Origin, kind of thing. So I'll put it down for chat. I'll put the Mega Man Battle Network series. Got a bottle set? Okay. What kind of bottles did we get? Yeah, it's like, for me, I will play games mostly for music, and if the combat is fine, I will then lean on the story, or if the combat is bad, as long as it's short and the story is good, I will stick with it. Like, I just have to know going into it, you know, like, if I'm expecting a more combat-oriented game and I feel the combat drags, I will feel very disappointed. But if I'm going in because, like, the story is interesting, then I have, like, a different mindset with it. Let's just use new. What bottles did it actually give us? I think another elixir. We've already capped everything except for Rune Bottle, so kind of a pointless treasure. There'll be a lot of plot you wouldn't understand if you don't play from the start. Yeah, that's probably also why I want to start from the beginning with it. I'm, like, vaguely aware of some of the plot points in the series, but I'm not going to say, like, I follow point for point. Yeah, we'll maybe take a look at that at some point. Combat can be pretty fast, especially late game. Story is very children's anime. That's kind of what I expect. I mean, to be fair, I think one of my favorite DS games was it was a Yu-Gi-Oh game, so I'm not gonna say, like, plot has to be the #1 thing. As long as, like, the actual core of the game itself is fun, I could go through it. Like, very, very unironically, I like the 5D's Yu-Gi-Oh! DS games. Yeah, like, it could be like the most basic story ever, but if it feels, like, really intuitive to play... Also, chat, the game is trolling me. Just... This enemy's terrible. I can't hit this enemy unless it's in front of me, because I'm using semi-auto instead of manual. Alright, what can we do to break this dumb loop? Okay. Wait, does teleport might work. Hold on. Or Dimensional Divide? Does that work? Okay, we got an ability to deal with it. So, like, I can't hit it with normal strikes. I know, not the bees. Yeah, it's like... kind of going into the concept if it's simple to pick up, but then it has more depth as you go along. Kind of like easy to pick up, harder to master. I will generally click with those games. As long as it isn't so brain dead easy, I don't need to use any mechanics to win. You gotta have a fine line with it. So we're gonna go ahead and kill the Great Tusk here. And from, like, a collectible card game standpoint, I always like saying, like, whenever I get a card, I'm like, oh, is there a way to really optimize this, even if it's a terrible card? Like, I'll just build a deck around, like, a simple concept. So I get a lot of entertainment from that, even if the game isn't the hardest. And then I'll find ways to amuse myself. Like, I'll do multiple story tournament battles in a row and just Exodia all of them, because I find it funny. Where they just tag in for the next person and they still lose because I still have Exodia in my hand. Like, good job, game. You did it. So I definitely find ways to amuse myself, even if it's not the way the game intends, necessarily. It's kind of like when we play the East games and we go out of bounds and we break them terribly. Like, I have fun with them, even though they are very janky. And I wouldn't want them to improve the stability of their game, chat. I want it to be that exact level of jank every game. Like, I don't feel I'm living a true modern East game unless we do something to either sequence break the game or go out of bounds or... I'm like, no, 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 don't give me functional walls. Get out of here. I don't want those. Poor East 4, very broken. East 7's pretty broken. As I said before, we'll probably do a speed run attempt at East 4. I could probably beat it in like, for a first time start to finish speed run, I could probably beat it in 2 hours. I just have to get my mashing finger ready to go out of bounds. Because otherwise we did all the strats needed for the speed run. We would just have to put it together in one solid string. Because I think I messed up only like the lightning field. Like that was it. Like, okay. I'm not going for like world records, so I don't really care. But it'd be kind of funny to just beat it in one session. Yeah, this intended to be like 24+ hour game to clear with all the plot and unskippable areas. We just skip the whole game anyway. We don't care what the game wants, chat. We get to enjoy it the way we want to. I think that's also a big thing with like oh wow, that attack does not combo. I think that's the big concept with like enjoyability of a game is like how much of the game is under the player's control. Like what is the player agency in either combat or whatever the core mechanic of the game is, and how much freedom of expression is also within the game. So to compare it against this game quickly, even though this thing does have some freedom of expression with combos, I feel like there's a lot of things outside of the player control that would make me not pick up this game again. Like, for example, when the enemies just random resist hits and you get punished, and it's literally RNG whether they resist the hit, like, that I don't really find fun. I like it when the enemies are more aggressive or they cast spells faster on the higher difficulties, so I'm not gonna tune out of hard mode just because they made the game harder that way. I just don't like it to be like in this game where we're fighting like a stat wall and there's an unnecessary layer of RNG on an otherwise like mostly skill based game. Kind of like that. Like, see how my hits are just randomly whiffing there? Like, I don't know. It's just weird. Or that, like, if I do the same skill again, it'll hit them randomly. I just like consistency, I guess is what it comes down to, chat. So the more inconsistent it feels, the less I usually like the game. I will not play the characters that do the gamble stuff. I just like really consistent, simple characters, or if the character's complicated, the reward better be really good if I learn them. It's kind of like when I play something like Sengoku Basara, where there's obviously characters that are way better than other characters. Like, tears are real. But, like, there's still an enjoyment factor for figuring out, to me, as, like, a puzzle, as, like, a challenge to myself, like, how are you expected to use this character effectively? And I'll find entertainment from that. Like, I do find entertainment from purposely hard characters, as long as they do have the tools somewhere in their kit to deal with it, even if it's not the most obvious choice. I do like having that feeling as I play through a game. Yeah, we're just grinding it out, chat. We're getting closer to the cameo battle. It's probably gonna be like, at this rate, I said an hour. We're gonna double that due to these unskippable cutscenes. So probably in the next 45 minutes, we'll get there, because we already killed the enemy 5 times, I think chat was keeping track for me. So I mostly just have to not die to something insta-killy, like the Basilisk King's stone move. So we're just gonna do liquor bottles to not get petrified. I'd really prefer not to game over here. I'm on run 6, thank you, chat. When we get to run number 10, I'll switch equipment slightly. I don't think I really want to do this enemy on hard. I mean, I guess I technically could. I would probably just want to try it on normal, just to see how hard it is, and then maybe do it on hard, just to see. I mean, we already beat Odin and the Fen Beast on hard, and we beat the game almost exclusively on hard, except for what we're doing here. Just because this is just a time waste. Like, we've already beaten all these enemies before. So I don't see the point in making you sit through that. Maybe at one point we'll see what this boss is like on Mania, so I'll try to save before then. That could be amusing. I have no chance of winning on Mania, but it would be amusing to show off. Gaelic Sword. For you. You're new. Fire heals you. But you're weak to physical? Or did I just crit? I just crit. Okay. It's fine. We're still gonna combo loop this thing. I think the optimal strategy is to wait a frame so that way your kick doesn't whiff. Yeah, there we go. Perfect amount of waiting. I was also just trying to think in general if there were other 3DS games I have forgotten on the list. Like, we have some things I mentioned in other streams, so, like, my brain doesn't go back to them as quickly because I just assume the list is known. But I guess for people joining, I would also probably want to play Radiant Historia on the 3DS. I think that was my favorite RPG that I played. We'll be playing the enhanced version on the 3DS specifically. Slightly better balancing than the original. I don't feel like the bonus content actually adds anything of interest, to be honest, but we'll explore it. I feel like they undertuned that game. See, that's a game where if you had the option of difficulty, I would have bumped it up for the final fight. The final fight in the bonus content is, like, way too easy. Oh no, I'm not getting an attack out. This is not good. Alright, there we go. We got an attack out. We're good now. Oh, I'm getting all the combos. Uh-oh, chat. Our flame move whiffed. We're actually gonna heal. Please don't make me reset this. Don't whiff. So chat, remember how I was talking about I don't enjoy RNG in games? This flame whiffing is RNG. There's no skill, there's no spacing, it's just... it will whiff randomly, and if it whiffs, we don't get a turn. Come on. What? Did he just, like, always counter with... like, what is happening, chat? Remember how quick we killed him before? Please don't make me restart this. I don't know what's going on. We're gonna go with the backup strat since he seems to just be auto-dodging randomly. Alright, we're gonna do this to stall for healing, or we're gonna game over here. I'd prefer not to game over. Alright, there we go. Backup strat, chat. Remember, chat? Like, remember how that killed him in, like, 6 seconds, and then this time around, he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna either invincibility frame or just auto-dodge it. Whatever. Whatever, Tales of Phantasia. Yeah, like, his weakness is fire, so I don't know why that move is just, like, so inconsistent. Or maybe when he does that attack, he just has invulnerability frames, and we just get really unlucky that he counters for a frame with his invincibility. Like, that would also explain why he's just dodging that randomly, because I don't see, like, a mark appearing when it whiffs. Oh, we got magical item set, sure. 1-6 wins. Thank you, Chris, for keeping track. I appreciate it. But we're getting there, chat. Today will be a grind. Got magical ribbon. Magical rouge. I guess it's just unlimited discounts at the store, which is pointless at this point in the game. We got magical broom, which I think we're already using on Rhea. Oh no. Oh, it's garbage. Oh, this item's actually garbage. Oh, okay. Just never mind, chat. See, chat, remember how we keep having discussions about the time spent to reward ratio? I feel like that's a good example. I know, chat. That is classic Tales of Phantasia. It's like, oh, are you strong enough to do the tournament consistently on normal mode? Here, have a weapon that would have been outdated at the time that you would have been able to get it. Like, chat, I think even if we just came to the future, that weapon still would have been weaker than anything we could have had. I'm pretty sure that is still true. Because if you saw, we had 2 other brooms. I guess that's not technically true. If we didn't purchase the item from the elf village, that might be the same level weapon. So it still wouldn't be an upgrade in that scenario. Because the Elf Village has an upgrade, and also talking with the mom gives you the ultimate broom. Hello, Mr. Pumpkin. Okay, the Fire Strike move has decided it wants to work. That's nice. There we go. Much better. I don't know why defeating Pumpkin King gives us a cucumber, honestly. Of all the food items to drop, chat, cucumber is not what I would have called. So we're gonna do, as I said before, a little bit of a hiatus between this game and the next Tales game. We'll be playing Eternia. I do have to see if I want to play the PSP version versus the PS1. I think the PSP version is better. I think they did make some modifications, so I need some time to set that up. So we'll be transitioning, I think, to the horror month pretty soon. But overall, chat, just let me know in terms of, like, for next weekend. We have a little bit of a break before October. If you would prefer to see, like an SNES one-off, or I'll even say Castlevania Bloodlines as a Genesis one-off, versus starting the horror month early. Always curious what the chat is interested in. And then after that, we'll be playing Cold Deca, for sure, no matter what. Goodbye, skeleton. And don't worry, Chad, I still have written in my notes that if we do play Etrian Odyssey, I will be random rolling the characters I'll play as in the party, so I could get some pretty atrocious starting party. We'll see if I can make it work. See, that's a game that I think depending on the party, I could bump up the difficulty to above normal. And once I've beaten an area, I'll lower it to normal just for the sake of grinding XP, because you do need to grind a little bit, and I would prefer that to not take 20 years if we do it, but I don't mind seeing bosses for the first time on hard mode, for example. That could be fun. If I'm allowed to choose the party, I'll just play on max difficulty, because I'll just go for the cheesiest things ever. Chat will just roll their eyes, and they're like, yeah, that's why he's playing on hard. I see what he did there. But yeah, depending on what we end up getting with random rolls, it'll be fun. I just feel bad, like, if we were to start one of those now, we wouldn't be able to conclude it before I would want to play other games. We've acquired apples and prunes. Interesting. Other than that, I was trying to do some research into some Super Nintendo games and Genesis games, just to see if there's anything on the list I'd forgotten, and honestly, most of them are pretty common games. So if I want to play something more obscure, I have to just kind of dig back into my cabinet. Like, if we want to talk about obscure, I think the easiest example I can think of would be the game called Fire Strikers on the SNES, where it is a mix of a action game and pinball, which is like, it's very interesting. I don't know if we'll do a full playthrough, but in terms of showing it off, it is very unique. I will give it that. And it even has 4-player co-op, which is crazy. That to me is the craziest part. The fact that it is a 4-player SNES game and it's for action pinball. That will always blow my mind, chat. Like, what is happening? I know, it's amazing. See, that one could be fun to get random people to play, because that is not a quote-unquote complicated game to play. But it is pretty chaotic. So I'll make sure to write that down, just so that we show that off at some point. Oh, you know what I should do for the other weekday games? Silly me, chat. Power Rangers on the SNES. How can I forget that classic? Silly me, chat. It just came to me. See, you go to use Google and you look for like top 100 SNES games. They don't even put Power Rangers there. They don't know what they're missing out on. That game is actually really good. If you've never heard the soundtrack of that game is amazing. Now, there are a lot of character imbalances, but it is what it is. But definitely, if we're going to do a lot more beat-em-up games, well, we'll do some of those, I think, on the weekdays. I'm trying to decide if I want to... at the moment, I think I'm reserving weekend for more slower-paced games. Although I am playing Tales, so I don't know if I would consider that slower-paced. But in general, if I want to do more turn-based games, I think I'm going to try to make them more weekend-based versus weekday. Just because, like... I don't know. If we need extended sessions, it's easier that way. But at the same time, I could see myself going back and forth on it, just because, like, if I'm tired and I'm doing a very action-oriented game, that also makes it kind of hard to play. Also, I forgot if the starfish can actually paralyze me. Let's make sure we do liquor bottle so we don't game over here. That would be a very silly game over. But it looks like there's quite a list going so far. I'll have to consolidate my earlier list with the current ongoing list. As I mentioned before, we'll do Kessen at some point, but probably only Kessen 2. Although I guess I could go back to Kessen 1. The gameplay of the third game in the Kessen series, I feel, does not match the earlier games, so it has no real appeal to me, other than to just show it once and never play it again. But that game is cheesy goodness. Oh, I did it too early. Gotta wait longer. Yeah, there we go. Get him in the combo, chat. It's like I want to see my character walk forward a couple of frames, and that sets up for the kick to always land. There we go. Look at that, chat. Learning timing in this game. Madness. Oh, you know what I should do, chat? I should look up whatever games Yuzo Kozuhiro has done that I haven't played yet. So I've already added Beyond Oasis because I love the composer. And no matter how bad the game is, I will listen to that music because it's always godlike. I know they did a spiritual successor to ActRaiser, which is one game we'll definitely play at some point. But the problem with it is that I know that that game is really, really unfun, and that will probably be the only game I will skip on the list outside of a racing game. Alright, well, let's just do backup strats. Oh, he's already punishing me. Good sign. Yeah, why does he automatically punish every time now? What's happening? Do I not have the... Is there, like, AI manipulation? Is he frame reading me? I can't even get that move to land anymore, chat. This is crazy. I'm blown away. We can't even land the move anymore. Even though it's his weakness, we can't land it anymore. That's crazy. There we go. That does do a lot of damage. All future games will use the Kozuhiro games. I mean, you're not wrong. Please let me heal. What is happening? We're just getting wombo comboed. Is he getting harder? Like, is it just me? What is happening, chat? Please stop. Thank you. I swear he's getting more iframes or something. I don't know what's happening. But we beat him anyway. Silliness, chat. So it looks like this arena fight is definitely taking quite a while. I was going to play East Origin right after this, while the chat decides what they would like to see next. And technically I could leave the Halloween games up to a vote as well. There are a lot of options for it. Magician's Star item set? What is this? Is this actually any good, or is this just still a pointless waste of time? Cool! It's items I have better than everything already. Cool. Is like any of this an upgrade? Oh, it's her strongest. Okay, that's her strongest weapon. Okay, I guess if you didn't go to the elf village, this would be the first time the game is given an upgrade. Obviously, like, we beat the game, so there's nothing it could really give us at this point that would be interesting. Oh, it's definitely worth the chat. If I was somehow at the beginning of the game and didn't get any of the legendary swords, and I somehow cleared this 7 times, I'd be like, yeah, the character I would want upgraded is Rhea, obviously. I don't need an upgrade for the character doing the tournament like 10 times in a row. That would just be silly. Silliness, chat, silliness. Yeah, I was just trying to think if there's a better way to do the votes. Like, we can use the contest system technically for the votes with our current setup. But in general, if it'd make more sense to let people that don't happen to catch a weekend stream change and vote. I don't know if it would be more fair. Like, should I put it on Twitter? Do people even do votes on Twitter? If I were to put the votes up there? I mean, I'm pretty open to, like, whatever would work for more people. Because honestly, there's a whole bunch of games I'd play. I will eventually get to them, but it'll probably take a couple of years. So when the chat suggests certain things, we'll have all the chat suggested games as like a vote option, for example. So if I were to pick up, for example, the Mega Man Battle Network series, or Advent, which is what the chat mentioned earlier, I'd probably lead it with Mega Man X. It'll go from like a one-off of that into its own series. You can make polls on Twitter, but you think you can only have 4 options. That's good to know. I haven't really done polls that much, so that could be worth checking. I think YouTube also allows polls. I'm not sure how many responses you're allowed, or if it's just 50-50. I usually only see them with 50-50. I've never really played with those. But technically on the VOD channel I have set up, that would also allow for an alternate means of voting. But in general, I just want to see, for the people that are more consistent, I would say with the stream, I would be more interested in what they would like to see. But for newcomers as well, I mean, it's good to know what brings people in. Straw poll is an option, and you can just link it to your Twitter. That's a good point. That would actually be really good, because then I can... That's actually a really good suggestion. Thank you, Chris. Because then I can also... Then I don't have to worry about the poll limits on YouTube. Because I know there's community posts you can put on the YouTube page, so I could also link it as a community post to Straw Poll. That way it would unify the votes. So I think we'll do that after the stream. But in general, just wanted to know. We are whipping a lot of hits there. Better. Alright, so fire at least speeds this up slightly. I'm gonna hold forward, then let go, because I'm trying to do neutral special, which is kind of a problem with semi-auto, is that if you don't hold a direction forward, for example, you'll go back to your starting standing position. But if the button I want to use is my neutral input, I have to like hold it, but then let go, but then not hold it too long, or I'll walk forward. Semi-auto, I always feel like in the older games, was like such a struggle to get them to stay close to the enemy. I think they mostly resolved that issue with the 3D Tales games, because you'll just stay near them when you're done. There is not like a position you go back to. Like, for example, if I let go, he'll walk backwards here. Oh, I got punched, so you can't see it. Yeah, there we go. Perfect example. So if I don't hold forward, he just does that over and over. Which can be annoying if my next move doesn't require a forward input, like if it needs up or down. But it is what it is. So yeah, I think I'll set it up, because I'll have like 2 polls going, I think, for... I guess what would be casual... I guess, actually, I'll just stick to the Halloween one for now. I was thinking for like a casual gameplay standpoint, I could have another vote. Since most of the games I mentioned, I already have checked and set up, so I know that they work. So for me, it doesn't matter if we choose, for example, like the Deception series versus Wild Arm versus Ninja Warrior versus like any of those. Hander Steve says, yeah, it's very annoying. Symphony 100% does not do that repositioning on semi-auto. Yeah, I feel like they also kind of improve how auto and semi-auto work in general. Like, I really like, for example, in Berseria, where even though you have auto selected, you're actually still allowed to input moves on auto. I don't know if people know that, because you definitely cannot do that in the older Tales games. Like, if I put it on auto, he's straight up gonna gummy charge into the nearest enemy and basically kill himself. Whereas, like, Berseria, I can actually input entire combos, and then if I leave gaps in the combo, the AI will auto-guard or evade. So I feel like if people are actually struggling on the modern Tales, I would check to see if it allows that. Because I know Berseria was like, you could make the game hilariously easy. The downside to doing that is I think it wouldn't let you miss the guard chain, which is a big way to do damage on bosses. But from a casual gameplay standpoint, it is very amusing that you could do that. I'm not even sure if that was in Zesteria. Like, it might literally only be Berseria, but oh well. So I think from a Tales standpoint, we would be going from, I guess, Eternia into Symphonia? I guess would be the order, and then somewhere in there I would want to do Tales of Tempest. Because I'm always curious about the Tales game that was not well received and ended up being removed from the flagship series. So I'm like, does it actually hold up? I mean, I imagine I'd probably enjoy it a bit more than Phantasia. I don't know if it'll make it a good game or not. But I don't feel like the bar is super high at the moment. You gotta hurry up and finish Symphonia. Well, you got a little bit of a break, Chris, because as I said before, we're gonna be taking a Halloween break to just play horror, light, I'll say, RPGs in celebration of Halloween. And then we'll go into Eternia. Eternia will probably take... Ooh... How long did it take me to get the end on normal? I got pretty close to the end of the game, as I said before. Probably like 45, 50 hours. So if you spread that across streams, if I stream about 6 hours a weekend, like 7 weeks, we'll be done with the game. If I had to guess. Memphis is highly considered the worst. See, I always find that interesting because I was like, man, it was really brutal playing through Zesteria. It's like that game was like the no fun zone for me. So I'm like, I don't know. I feel like when people say that, they might not have played some of the other games. It's kind of like when people were saying, like, they were having a vote on, what was it? Game Facts or Game FAQs of, like, which one's the worst one, and then people didn't vote for, like, Symphonia 2, Dawn of the New World. I think it's just because people haven't played the game before. I just, honestly, this is what it comes down to most of the time. Oh, I never got a copy of Tempest. That reminds me, I have to go get that. So I'm glad we brought that up, because it would have been awkward later on when I'm like, oh, I never got a copy to stream. Oops. It's the only DS Tales to not get a beta port. Interesting. I know there's also ones that never got translated in the US. Like, we'll eventually be going to Tales of Destiny 2 and the remake of Tales of Destiny 1. We'll be playing those back to back. I'm just waiting for them to actually finish translation of 2 before I dive into that. But then there's also games like Tales of Hearts and Tales of Innocence. Both of those are also not translated, to my knowledge. But if they do get translated, I'll play it. Everyone I've spoken to about it told me to skip on to the New World. Yeah. Hearts as hearts are, if I recall correctly. That sounds right. I think it does. Just like I know there's Grace's F. We'll be playing Grace's F at some point. There's a fan translation of Innocence. Now, when they say it's the translation, is that just they have the script and you have to read alongside it? Because that does not make for great streaming? Or is it like actually they modded it? Because that's what my concern is. Because sometimes they do have translations of the game, but it's not in the game itself. So from a streaming standpoint, I don't want to pick this up. It's a Vita port that was officially translated? Oh, interesting. Okay, that's good to know. I'll take a look then. As I said before, I'm waiting for a team that just picked up Tales of Destiny 2 to complete itself. They just announced it, I think, in May that they were translating it after it had been dropped by, I think it was Frozen Productions, because that group of translators disbanded, I think due to a cease and desist. I'll write that down. Tales of Innocence. Hearts are translated Vita. Everyone is waiting on them. I think so. I remember a while ago, I was one of those people that I was so excited. I actually have the Japanese copy of Tales of Destiny 2. Like, I was so convinced that they were going to do it because they translated the other games that I have it, and it has just been sitting on my chair untouched. So I'm like, listen, if it's a question of whether or not I can apply the patch, I'm like, I have a physical copy of the game. I have just like, it's just been sitting there unloved. Destiny 2, as my friend calls it, the one that got away. Yeah, I'm kind of interested in it. As I said before, it looked like the remake would be a lot more entertaining, I would say, for the first game. So being able to take the first game and go into the actual official second game would be a good refresher. Because I know they did change some plot points. I've mentioned it a couple streams of Tales of Destiny in the remake. I'm gonna change one of my pieces of equipment, otherwise I'm gonna leave it as is. 8 wins, thank you, Chris. Speaking of which, I kind of like grained off what he gave me. Did he actually give me anything interesting? Oh, he gave me stuff from the final dungeon. Okay, chat, this is the closest it's come to an actual upgrade, because all 3 of these things, had I not been in the final dungeon, would have been new to us. But again, if we could get to the point where we beat this consistently, we should just beat the game. I don't know. Whatever. So I will save, I think, after this one, in case we just want to see what this boss is like on Mania as a joke. But I definitely have an intent to play most of the Tales games. There are some I kind of refuse to play. And one of them will have to be Legendia unless there's another system to play it on. I remember booting it up on my PS3. I think as a joke one time, I'll just show what it looks like on my PS3, where everything is just completely broken. It's like, if you have not seen a PS3 game fail to emulate a older game before, that is the perfect example for you. It is truly a work of art to witness. Like, imagine like your character sprite, where you have like a couple polygons for your face, right? Now imagine if your cheek was just stretched all the way across the camera, and it clips into your other cheek, and you form this weird geometric shape in the center of the screen that blocks out everything. So you just, like, when your head turns, you can briefly see your hair, and that's all you see the entire game. It's so broken on the PS3. It's very hilariously broken. So I physically cannot play that game unless other means of playing it have resolved that issue. But it is very funny to witness on the PS3. I know. I just... Oh, and then if you turn too much, then your hair clips in. So it's like, everything is like... It's like accidentally hooked to the camera for some reason. It's really weird. I've never seen a game quite break like that before. Yeah, it's otherwise unplayable. I think it also persists into combat, and obviously I can't see any dungeon layout. So playing that blind would be pretty much impossible. I probably will not play Abyss for a multitude of reasons. Mostly because, like, every port version of that game just refuses to work properly for one reason or another. That would be the easiest way of saying why I won't do it, but honestly, I also don't like that game. So I'm not going to try that hard to get it. I was already frustrated enough in Graces with, like, really stupid protagonists, but, like, man, the Tales of Abyss protagonist, he gets me, chat. He is just too much. At some point, we'll also play Vesperia. I've still to this day not played Vesperia, so that would be a blind playthrough of that game. And Symphonia would be also... I guess it would be a blind playthrough at this point, because I don't really remember anything about the game other than Dwarven Vow number 4. It's just spammed over and over when you win combat. But we'll be getting to those games eventually. I'm trying to think if there are any other mainline series RPGs I haven't gone to. The Protagonist of Grace isn't good. It's not that they're not interesting. I just feel like they have the most obvious dumb blind spot to the super, super obvious antagonist. Like, it is painful how obvious the one character is an antagonist. It's painful. I don't want to go into plot details, but it is really, really, really obvious. I'm like, really? We're like 25 hours in and we're like, is this person evil? Why are we asking this question still? What's wrong with you? Yeah, so get ready for them to be dummy. I do think it's interesting what they did without going into too many spoilers. They have a time skip in it, and I think that's very interesting from, like, an experimental standpoint. I am glad that if you do like the game and want to replay it, you are able to skip the time skip and go to when you would normally get your standard abilities. So I appreciate that both of those things are in the game. I mean, this party was at the end of the game and still couldn't figure out if it was evil or not. Yeah, they're not as bad as the Phantasia heroes, but they're not super far off. Like, it takes them until, like, 3/4 of the game to go, yeah, this person's evil. And I'm like, no. This person murdered someone in front of you and they could be evil? No. Not that person. It's like big eye rolls, chat. It's very silly. Yeah, Graces is also kind of an interesting system because I feel like I want to read into the development before we go to play that game, because I'm curious if they rushed that game. Because if you compare, like, the Graces F, or I guess F is for final version, they have weird letters at the end. They all stand for something. It adds in a lot of mechanics that were missing in the core game, and then I'm like, but then why didn't they just add this back into the core game? In general, why do I have to play the expansion part of Graces to get to the things that we're missing? And, like, it definitely feels like a more complete game by the time you go to the unlockable post-game DLC. Not even DLC, but, like, extra content. And it feels a lot better to play, and you're like, oh, I wish this was here earlier. And then I had a lot of fun with the game, because it just became completely broken. But then it's just, like, getting to there could be a little difficult. Yeah, I think that game also had some balancing issues. Like, I remember in the post-game content, there was, like, not the first boss, but, like, the second boss, where there's, like, multiple bosses to fight at once. I thought that was the hardest fight in the game by far, and I felt really disappointed after I got past that point. So I'm like, wait, I just have to fight this thing again, but there's less of them? How is this a later boss fight? What? Very strange, chat. They made strange decisions on the bonus content. But I still like it overall. I think what they learned over time is that people don't want to just play really boring mages. Like, Symphonia has that problem where, like, more than half the cast is, like, not playable. Like, if you select them you will be super bored. You're gonna be hitting one button the whole time, and it'll either make you auto lock on or aim a spell manually, and neither is really that fun to do. Whereas you'll see as you go into things like Zilia or Graces that they add like a subsystem to make it more interesting, like choosing whether or not to do a charge move to empower the spell, or chaining arts or spells mid-combo. Pretty interesting. I think we'll see that in Tales of Destiny Remake as well as Tales of Destiny 2. So they definitely learned that each character should be a lot more playable. I'm still on the fence whether or not we'll play Tales of Arise. We've had a discussion about why I'm not happy with that game. So we'll let it sit, chat. I hope they remove, at minimum, the DLC prompts. Wait, did I skip the Fen Beast? I was kind of autopiloting chat. I'm not gonna lie, I was just reading chat. Dang, I think I skipped the Fen Beast. Oh, that's annoying. I think what happened is I hit cancel instead of confirm because I was hitting the special button. Dang, we have to do that again. Yeah, one of the things happened. I either hovered no or I hit cancel while hovering yes, which is the same thing. We'll go through it again. I'll try to pay more attention when we get to the end. I was just kind of spamming to get through the dialogue, and I wasn't paying attention to which fight number that was. Oh well. Oh well. Because it's weird, because it says hit circle to advance, but I'm used to hitting X, so I was hitting X to advance. That's why I was saying I wasn't sure what happened there. I guess I could just leave it on circle for now. Dwarven Val 10, play hard, play often. I don't remember all the Vals, but I know they had like a ludicrous number, and they like making fun of it in the later games, because I think they realized and reflected how terrible it was that he would just never shut up about them. Just like, it gets really bad in Symphonia. For people that haven't seen it, it is kind of atrocious how often this character says Dwarven Vals. Like, if you were to turn it into a drinking game, you would die within 3 hours for sure. If you took a shot every time you said Dwarven Vals, you would be dead. you would not make it through a single session of this game. Oh yeah, speaking of which, when we do play Symphonia, I do need to have a counter ready to count how many times we get to hear Dwarven Vals. We do need that set up, chat. I have to know how many times we're gonna hear Dwarven Vals. It's very important. It is definitely a treasure of sorts. Definitely. Yeah, I haven't decided if I wanted to focus on slash or thrust. I haven't really decided. There are... I don't know if they exist in the Steam version, but there were glitches on the GameCube version where you could technically learn slash and thrust simultaneously. I don't know if that still exists in the Steam version. I would have to do more research before we began. Like, technically, once you start a path, you're not supposed to be able to get the alternatives to them, but you can. Due to programming issues. So basically, once you've learned all of one tree, you just disable it, more or less, as like the high-level explanation, and then you can start learning the other tree. Even though you shouldn't be able to, question mark. Like to suggest another counter for Symphonia, but I will suggest that out of chat to prevent spoilers. I was gonna say if it's how many times I get annoyed by Colette, that counter is gonna be really high. just letting you know. That counter is gonna be infinitely high. Yeah, I don't find the characters as endearing in Symphonia, so for me, I mostly just have to get to the halfway point of the game and where I start getting access to the full cast, and then I think it becomes a little better for me. But yeah, it does involve... I knew it had to involve Colette somehow. I knew. It's the psychicness, Chris. Like, I knew. Of course it involves Colette. Yeah, see, I think the problem with it is, like, I'm not into, like, overly cheery characters, so character personalities like Genus and Lloyd are a really big turnoff for me. And having to sit through the parental figure of Rain in the party on top of that is like a little much for me. Yeah, I will refuse to talk about the character I actually like, but you don't get him until... I think he is actually the last character you get. I never like Colette. Spoilers. As soon as I got the classroom skit, I'm like, oh, I am not gonna like this character. I can already tell. Even the title you get from that skit is like, yep, this is gonna be an adventure with this character. So we'll see. I mean, there are more adult type characters that show up, and I generally have an okay time with them. Like, even in things like Tales of Abyss, at least there was like, I'm gonna say Jude, that's not his name. I actually forgot his name from Tales of Abyss. But the glasses guy. I like the glasses guy. I did not really like anybody else in Tales of the Abyss. He had a simple name. It'll come to me eventually. He's like one of the starting characters, but he's not the protagonist or the childhood friend. Who I just like both of them immensely. I swear it'll come to me, chat. At some point, I will think of the name. Oh, it's Jade. It just came to me. It's Jade. Okay. It's like, I'm like, it's some. I thought it started with a J, and I'm like, Jude's and Zilia. Wrong game. So far, it does feel like kind of a field trip, bunch of kids plus Rain. Yeah, I mean, that's like the whole first half of the game. That's why I was like, ugh. Just getting through that is not too bad. Well, if getting through that's not too bad, then I could probably beat the game. They do introduce a couple characters early on after you get through the initial cast, and I don't like them either, so that's gonna be interesting. But we'll hold off for the character I intend to play the rest of the game with once we get him. He's my favorite character, because he's more of a technical character. And I'm sure everybody that's played the game is super, super bored of watching swordsmen. Because, like, again, half of the cast is, like, just not playable. It's like, if you're playing co-op, like, oh boy, I got Genus. Yay, let me do my one-hit, I was gonna call it yo-yo, but you know what I mean. Combos. It's a shame they just decided not to give them weapon specials. Which is weird, because Tales of Destiny did that, as did Eternia for the most part. So I don't know why they went backwards with the system on that. Hi, Air Giant. I'm just gonna hold upright and just spam circle. You should die eventually. Eventually. Actually, I think that's faster. Something like this. Yeah. Much better. One day, chat. Hold on. You tried playing Genus and Rain the other day, one battle and you switch back to Lloyd. They're not playable, I'm telling you. They are... I don't feel like they play-tested those characters and went, yup, I could see myself doing 20 hours of combat with this character. Which is a shame. Because when you go to play something like Azilia, or you go to play a Graces, or you go to play... I was gonna say even Zilia too. Even like a well, especially Berseria. Those games at least give you combat options other than spells, and or they add mechanics to the spells. Like, and it's weird because it's like they thought about it before. Because you have to think about it like this. Rude/Rudy/Karen from Tales of Destiny 1. She had... Okay, let's make sure I don't cancel it this time. Hold on. Concentration. Okay, I didn't cancel the challenge. We did it. I'm not hitting X to skip the text. We did it, chat. For those characters, they at least had, like, Snipe Roar or Snipe Rose/Bloody Rose. Like, they had actual combat moves. Oh, wait. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, we didn't do it 10 times, did we? Uh-oh. Are the guides wrong, or is it just because I skipped the Fen Beast? Well, anyway, chat, we're getting the cameo fight earlier than I was expecting. Now I have to pay attention. Okay, chat, so if you remember from our playthrough of Tales of Destiny, The US version did not have this character, but we could see them in the Game Shark. But this is Lilith, aka Stan's / Blondie's sister from Tales of Destiny. So she is not in the original SNES game because obviously Stan Alaros, or whatever his name is, did not exist at the time, but they retroactively added in this cameo. So I'm glad I put my lightning helmet on because otherwise I was going to take some crazy damage from this character. I'm Lilith, nice to meet you. Oh my, looks like we have an intruder on the main event. Moreover, our intruder seems to be a young girl. And to top it all off, she beat the ferocious Gout Beast into submission in just 3 seconds. Don't you know that it's dangerous to come to a place like this? Oh, way to be condescending, Blonder. Listen, she killed that thing in 3 seconds. How dare you disrespect her? How dare you? She better frying pan you to death. You know, you sound exactly like my older brother. I know, so condescending. I'll be fine. If we're comparing strength, you're much weaker than me. Also true, she's pretty OP. Yeah, I know, I wish we could beat the Gout Beast into submission in 3 seconds. Weak, she says. Blunder, I've been watching all of your matches up until now. Yeah. In this Coliseum, your strength is unmatched, so please accept my challenge. What? Wait! So you just burst in here ignoring all the rules and challenge him? Well, you know, I have my reasons. That doesn't mean much coming from you, Shorty. Who are you calling Shorty? I'm with Lilith. Can we replace Rhea with Lilith, chat? We would have 4 melee characters. That would have been so fun. Oh, chat, I would have enjoyed this game so much more. Where are my meleeers at? Anyway, you will accept this challenge. Even if you say it like that, my heart really isn't in this. I've just received word from the tournament's High Commission stating that this bout will now be officially recognized. And with that out of the way, here I come. What? Okay, chat, so unfortunately, I don't know if I saved super recently. I think I did, but we'll take another look. So we'll spectacles her. So she would normally have 80,000 in hard mode, so she'd have as much as Golf Beast. So she should have all of her moves that we've seen in the PlayStation 1 version, so she should have, like, Lightning Blade. I don't know if she has 10-hit combo, because I think that was a English Tales version only, and it's not in the remake. So we'll try our best. She's probably gonna hit us like a truck. Yeah, she's doing some pretty crazy damage already. She's got the frying pan. She's doing the uppercut already. Ooh, we go over her. This is a problem. Okay, so the kick moves don't work. We need a new strategy. What would be good? Claw Slash? Would Claw Slash be a good example? I guess I could try that move as well. Ooh, she is... Oh, she's Thunder Fisting us? Nice. Oh, we are getting bullied in the corner, chat. So we can block her attacks. She does mostly lightning. That is her gimmick in the other one. She should have Thunder Sword, where she does the mid-air laser beam. If we get hit by it, we shouldn't take too much. As I said before, because we have a lot of lightning resistance. Oh, that's a new one. We have a lot of lightning resistance and 20% elemental. Hopefully we'll be okay there. But she is bullying us for sure. Okay, I just wanted to get out of the corner. I wasn't trying to hit her there. Oh, I did it too early. Oh, I wish she had that move in the PS1 version. That would have been godlike. Alright, so that, I think that was her 10-hit combo renamed. Man. Probably bitter about not being playable. You're right. She's super upset. Let's mix Gummy for TP and health. We haven't seen her do her super yet. Although I think she's going to use it soon, if I had to guess. Did regular swallow... Oh no, here it comes. Oh, we're getting wrecked, chat. Oh, Thunder Uppercut. Jeez. We're out of there. We're out of the corner, chat. That's all that matters. So that's one of her supers. Let's heal again. I hope not to see the Lightning Blade one, as that will probably do a lot of damage to us. Man, that attack just lasts forever. So yeah, she's super, super aggressive. Let's do, is that a Swallow Kick? Does Tiger Fang work okay on her? Kind of. Okay, actually, that works pretty well. Yeah, she should sure you can be to heaven. You're right, chat. Okay, that's slightly better. Okay, so she didn't get a chance to use her other ability. And all that for a Black Onyx? Are you kidding me? Are you serious? Really, chat? That's her word for... Oh, it better be something else. I didn't actually look to see what she gives. He's done it. This victory goes to Blunder Alvine. So I lost. Blunder, you're every bit the man I expected. Please, take this. Since it's you, I'm sure that you'll be able to handle it. What is this? This is my older brother's most treasured sword. Excuse me. He lost this sword. Not canon, chat. But if you think having it will help you, I'll gladly give it to you. Are you sure about this? Giving me something that important? Yes, I'm sure my brother would agree. I understand. I'll accept the sword and use it gratefully. Thank you. And so, this tournament is brought to a spectacular conclusion with a knockout victory by Blunder Alvine. Everyone, let's send off our young champion and lovely challenger with a thunderous round of applause. Well, this is goodbye then. He's done it. This time he's finally done it. With this, our hero has carved his name forever in the history books. Alright, so we'll try to reload saves, because I forget how many clears I did before I saved. I'm assuming I did save. Otherwise, I feel kind of bad, because I'm not redoing it, just to see the other technique. Alright, so what is our actual reward for beating her? We got the sword. What is the king gonna give us? Oh no. Okay, that got me, chat. That got me. That is actually so bad. It made me laugh.
What?
Our reward for 10 wins in a row is just a gummy set from the king. Hello, Granite Knight. Hope you're doing well. Mysterious sword, whose name abbreviated in does not stand for super deformed. I believe it probably stands for Swordy and Dimlos. It is a decently high slash thrust with fire attribute. Most enemies happen to be really strong. Hey King, how about you jump off a cliff? I feel that way about like everybody in Phantasia. I'm gonna be real honest with you. Like that's like the kind of reward we get in Phantasia. This is why I won't play this game again. Like really, we spent like an hour plus to get to the cameo fight, and it's like, have a Gumby set. What trash nonsense, chat. Anyway, I guess I could save over this save file, whatever. Yeah, see, I think I saved at like 7. I would have to redo the tournament, like 2 more matches. I don't think that's worth doing. But at least we saw the cameo, and we got to amuse ourselves by hitting max stats. Like, way below the intended level. Oh, by the way, chat, I looked up in the game before we conclude, I think, with Phantasia. The max level is not 99. It is not 100. It is level 255. I don't know what madman would ever bother trying to hit level 255 in this game. We're not one of those people, chat. But I thought you'd like to know. I know why. Exactly. What a great question. I know. Especially, like, if you couldn't herb grind, I could almost see it. Like, Volt is an example of a character that only received, I think, 1 health up and 1 TP up, so he's pretty close to his base stats. And you could see how much of a difference, even though these characters are the same level, like how much better Ninja is. And her stats are lower than Volt's normally. So just to give you an idea of like how pointless levels are in this game. I guess because they liked the coding of 255, because that is a big thing in coding. Normally you have 255 characters to play with. Although sometimes it's 254. I guess if you have like a 0 or a 1 to determine whether it's positive 244 or negative 255. But I guess if you don't have to worry about having a positive or negative integer, and you just take it as unsigned. I guess it would free up 255 bytes to determine your level. Not being allowed to make 255 limit for chicken is probably why I left it to Tri-Ace. Oh no, you brought up the company Tri-Ace. Chat, that reminds me. That reminds me of a game I did say we would do at some point. One moment as I write down both games we'll probably play again from Tri-Ace. So we'll probably replay the original Valkyrie profile just to get it recorded. And I'll be using some of my notes from last time. I still have them, so I should be able to speed that up a little bit. So I still have things like Chapter 1, Send Llewellyn with hero value 40. I have all those notes from when we played last time, so we could probably play through. However, I think, yeah. Oh, we're not playing VP, not VP2. No, just VP1. VP2 we played. I'm not playing that game again. But VP1 was kind of fun. We'll go for the normal ending, true ending, and bad ending as before. 'Cause I think we did it like... I don't remember what we did. I guess we did up to the normal ending, then bad ending, then they got the true ending, I think. Be nice to see VP1 again as a palate cleanser after VP2. I know, we get to hear all those Arngrim quotes once more. It would be kind of fun to do. Yeah, the only thing I have to take notes of again is the order to visit places like the Weeping Lilies, Jarabellum, Bram Castle, and Lizard. I think that's the only thing my notes don't make clear what chapter I start doing those. But I have all my other notes for how to get the optional cutscene stuff. So I don't need to do any additional things. I kept most of my notes from last time. So we'll be playing through that, but I said there were 2 games. So that's number 1. We'll play VP1 again at some point, but number 2... You're picturing Lennon saying my answer's stinging, we're looking for the Dragon Orb. I mean, there's a reason we probably will play VP2 again, and that is a good reason. But then, chat, I did promise we should probably play Star Ocean. I don't know if we'll play the remake or not, because I don't feel like you'll be given the true experience of Star Ocean, the second story, unless you hear those voice clips. Because I will let you know, chat, those voice clips are... They are just quality acting voice clips on the majority of the cast. It's certainly something if you've never heard the vocals in that game. And you might be questioning to yourself constantly, like, what language are they saying? And to be honest with you, chat, 50% of the time, I'm not entirely sure what language it is. Some of it is English. Some of it. So it'll be very interesting when we get to that. It'll be very, very, very interesting. The downside to that game is that to get the true experience with all the voice clips, we'd have to play through the game multiple times. A, because there's characters you can only get by playing through one character's perspective, but even B, there are optional characters we could collect. We have a max party size limit, so it's possible to completely exclude characters that don't show up until later in the game by recruiting too many people early. So I think it needs a minimum of like 3 or 4 playthroughs, if I had to guess, just to get the full cast. But we'll see. I guess maybe there is a combination where if you have exactly the right people in playthrough 1 and exactly the right people in playthrough 2, you might be able to do it in 2 playthroughs. But I know for sure you definitely cannot do it in 1, because I recall there are specifically 2 characters that do not show up in the corresponding optional protagonist's path. So I think we'll play through those again, because I had fun with VP1. I never mind going back to VP1. I actually really like the darker story and everything else with it. Even if the actual plot of the game is not super deep, I do like the character stories, because I think that's what really sucked me into the game itself. And I think the dungeons are mostly fun, except for the hard mode dungeons. Those are trash. But in terms of like just normally completing the game, I think I have fun with it for the most part. It's not too BS. Like, we can work around a lot of the more annoying things in the game without too much of an issue. So I'll definitely put that on my list of things we have to replay again. Oh, chat, you know what makes me kind of sad? I just opened up my other page of notes. I got Rune Factory 4 notes. It's still here, chat. Speaking of which, was the new Rune Factory any good? I was hearing really mixed things about it. Did they actually fix that? That's something I'm gonna have to do research on. Because, I mean, it's supposedly coming out next year. But I'll make a note of it, I suppose. Because that game was pretty fun, chat. But I was hearing a lot of issues with the Japanese version. And I think people did enjoy Rune Factory 4 in general. It's one of those surprise games where it doesn't look like it would be very deep or complex, and then you go to play the game and you're like, wow, this is a really good integration of subsystems, mini games, plot, and learning about the other town people. And I feel like it still stands up pretty well. Honestly, I would even play Rune Factory 4 again, just like from scratch, because that game was fun. Anyway, chat, I think I will be heading off soon, but I'll be putting up a vote on probably the Halloween game and also maybe the weekend game, I suppose, for what we're going to play next. So we got 2 sessions to kind of play around with before I want to go into very specific games, but other than that, I think that's it. I don't want to do anything else with Phantasia. Goodbye, Moria Mines. I'm not interested in you. So for now, we're going to end the series of Phantasia with disappointing. I'm going to go with disappointing. On a lower difficulty, I think some of the issues don't exist, and it seems a lot more fair. But I still ultimately feel like the game's dungeons, as well as some of the combat mechanics, just are not fun, no matter what the difficulty is. Yeah, Moria Mines, you win this time. I don't care. Whatever's in you, don't care. We didn't need you to beat the game. You're not even like... Whatever it could have given us, we didn't need. So, doesn't matter. So for now, chat, I have this whole list of games to take a look through. And we'll probably continue with some free time next weekend. So I'd just like to thank you all for joining, and I hope you have a good day or a good night, depending on the time zone.